And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. And oh, Matt, I'm all excited this week. I'm all jazzed. I'm all over the place because we have such a big glut of comic book news to cover this week.
Oh boy, do we ever. This is probably
This-
like our like busiest show probably for a long time. Like
Yes,
since probably Infinite Frontier was announced and all that sort of stuff.
It's true. I can't remember the last time we had this much to cover on a single show, and it's good because last week we had so little to cover. Yeah. We did a whole Suicide Squad episode, so thank you everyone who watched and enjoyed that.
Yeah, and we almost still went for like our usual length of like 90 minutes.
It's true. It's true. We did. So yeah, we're here tonight. It's Sunday night. It's showtime, everyone. Man, today just flew by for me. I could not believe it was already 10 o'clock and it was time to do the show.
No, I agree as well. Yeah, it just like the morning for me because it's 12 p.m. noon exactly now. And yeah, the morning for me just like went by straight, like real quickly.
Yeah, it's all this time in lockdown. Time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Are you in the same terrible position I'm in now where like due to heat and just general everything I can't fall asleep till like 5 in the morning now?
No, I just don't fall asleep till 5 in the morning just because I'm up doing stuff.
There you go.
No, we were in the good part of weather where it's like sort of between summer and winter, but it's not really spring yet. It's just like that really nice weather.
It's the worst for me because like I'll go to bed around midnight. I'm a night owl anyway, whatever. And then I'll just, lay there for a couple hours and it's like, God damn it, is that the sun coming up? Well, shit, I guess I better get to bed now. Damn it. And then, of course, I end up sleeping in till 1 to 2 because that's what happens when you don't go to bed till 5. And I'm just like, I just feel so, like, unproductive. But then it's like, well, fuck, I shouldn't feel unproductive because I can't go anywhere or do anything anyway.
Yeah. It was like the opposite for me when we were in lockdown like a week and a half ago where, like, when I went into lockdown, like, I just shut down. It's like I was starting to go to bed at, like, 8 o'clock at night and, like, waking up really early in the morning and be like, well, I can't do anything, like, yeah, I can't. But then, like the minute lockdown finished, I like went back to my regularly scheduled programming.
I need to reset my internal clock. I just need to force myself to get up one day, even if I feel like shit, and just try and rock it out. But yeah, so that's the kind of week I've been having there. What else was up there? I watched that new Stephen Amell show, Heels, before we started.
I've been meaning to watch that. It's on my little watch list there. I'm probably going to watch it later on tonight.
On Stars there. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. There's like, it's got a lot of those pilot problems where I'm like, ooh, I hope they change that. Ooh, I hope they smooth that out.
Yeah, well, again, it's a pilot. It's probably shot, 6 months before the actual show was actually in production.
Everyone's making really bold choices with their accents. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But yeah, you can tell it's a labor of love for Amell that he put like all his Hollywood juice and his post-Arrow money behind this. Where it's like, this is what I really want to do. This is the story I really want to tell. And he's telling it.
No, that's good. That's good.
Also, I think the other guy who plays his brother was like in Vikings. He played like one of the Viking sons.
Yeah, he was Ragnar's son.
Yeah, he's pretty good in this, too. I see a good career for that guy.
Nice.
His name is Ludwig, which I guess means he's either, like, actually Norse or German or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right on that one. I keep waiting for the wrestling cameos, because I know that they've, like, booked a bunch of guys. Like, Doc Luke Gallows is in one of the bigger scenes there, and you know he's in the scene, because the man is such a fucking carny. He's wearing his wrestling gear that he wears on television, and a shirt for his own podcast, Hockey Shop. I'm like, I fucking love you, you beautiful carny bastard. That's like what I would do if I showed up on a show and I wore a comic multiverse shirt. God, I love wrestling. Callie in the channel again, helping us out there. Do you know how many Batman/adjacent books are going? Yeah, actually, about half of them. The solicitations for DC came out this week, and literally 50% of all the books that came out were Batman books.
A billion.
A billion trillion. This many.
Yeah.
So many goddamn Batman books, which, man, I don't know what that says about your company. I mean, we'll talk about that when we get into the news, but it seems like DC in general, there's this feeling of, we better stick to what works. We better stick to what's always made money because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they got that fear state coming up and like every single book is tying into it.
Yep, sure is.
And they're announcing like a bunch of other books, which we'll talk about a little later on, that also tie into it.
Sure is. Oh, the chat mentioned Stargirl. Yeah, Stargirl came back this week.
It did, and it was a good episode.
It's as good as ever. I'm like, man, now I remember why I fell in love with this show so much, because it fucking rules.
Yeah, and people were worried it was going to get diluted because this is the season that kind of went to the CW. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so far I don't see any difference.
No.
It's all pretty solid. They're going out of their way to try and make Eclipso really scary and a real threat.
Yeah, I love all the stuff with Eclipso, especially that start stuff with like little kids.
Very. Kids are always creepy.
Yeah.
Goddamn children. Stop being creeping. Stop creeping up our days. My favorite thing is that the actor who plays the little brother is now the same height as the girl who plays Stargirl, and his voice is way deeper. Someone hit puberty in between seasons, huh, brother? And no one's mentioning it yet. I'm like, is anyone going to mention that this kid is that much taller and deeper voiced now? He's going to come back next episode with a full mustache.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works. Also, Joel McHale is running around.
Yeah, I completely forgot he's meant to be Starman, Sylvester Pemberton.
So much happened at the end of Stargirl season 1. You got Joel McHale coming back. You got references to the Shade, to the Eclipso Diamond, to the Seven Soldiers of Victory. Just, yeah, they really were like, look, if we get picked up for another season, we got to be sure to throw everything at them.
Yeah, and like this episode, of course, we got the first appearance of Jade with the Green Lantern stuff, which is really exciting. And I know later on in the season, John Wesley Shipp is coming on as the Flash of Earth 2. So it's the Flash from that he appears in as the Flash in the Flash TV show, but in this show, which means he's going to actually get good speed special effects, and they might actually have him running properly, unlike what they do in fucking Flash.
All we could ever hope for. Asif, again, helping us out in the chat there. I'm happy I can finally catch this live, and we're happy you can be here live, and we're happy that you dug deep there and helped out the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff happening in Stargirl this season that has me very excited to check it out.
Yeah.
Keep checking it out every week, especially after I kind of cut Flash from my diet. I mean, I'm probably gonna go back to it at some point, but I'm in no rush.
Yeah, and it's perfect as well because like that show started as well. Superman and Lois finishes this week as well, so like you've got like you finish that show and go straight on into Stargirl.
Yeah, it's really good the way they figure that out. I think the networks and the channels have cracked this TV thing.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, we can only hope so. I guess is that everything then? I guess we can hop into the news for this week because there's going to be a lot.
There's a lot, yeah.
Magmaster saying, any opinions on Titans? I still haven't watched it, and Matt still doesn't like it.
Yeah, so I watched the first 3 episodes, and yeah, it's just shit. How do people like this?
I tapped out at the first episode. I'm like, I do not see what people did. To quote our friend and frequent collaborator, Kurt, the idea there of being like, hey, what if we put together, let's put together, like Dark Knight Returns aesthetic with old Wolfman Perez stuff, because that works when you put that together.
Yeah. When they announced that Red Hood was going to be in this show, I thought like the whole season was going to be like covering like under the Red Hood. They do it in the first 20 minutes of the first episode.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, and like I think by the end of the second episode, like they all know that Jason is Red Hood, and they kill off fucking Hawk, and yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's not what people wanted or anything.
Yeah. Oh no, probably is very much what people wanted because it's Red Hood just like shooting people. And that's all his fans fucking care about. So
comes in blasting. He's coming in blasting.
Yeah.
Hey, on the upside, we actually did get a trailer for Doom Patrol season 3.
Yes, very excited for that.
Hey, we're finishing up last season. Sorry, COVID fucked us all over, and we never actually got to finish the story we were doing. But don't worry, because when we're done, we're gonna do more Brotherhood of Dada stuff, and also, holy shit, is that Monsieur Mallah in the brain? Yes, it is.
More weird shit.
Yes, please. Now, I wonder, are they going to be season-long villains, or are they going to do what they've done with other villains from the comics, and that is they're there once, and then that's it?
Maybe it's like both of those villains, like one takes a number of episodes, and then the other takes a number of episodes, so it's like 3 villains technically for the season, and it's like short arcs.
Yeah. Perhaps, who knows?
Might also make it easier to while dealing with like COVID and stuff, so they don't have what happened at the end of the last season where they had to end it abruptly.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, here's hoping they don't have to do that. Also, hey, because the chat reminded me too that I promise we will move on and talk about comic book stuff. Yo, Marvel What If was also this week.
Yeah, that first episode with Agent Carter, or Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. Big, strong, what is it? Big, strong comic book wife. What's
not
to love?
Big, strong Amazon woman.
Big, strong, very big, strong, fighting all the Nazis, big, strong. Man, I was shocked to see that they actually did so many direct references to the movie, like recreated so many scenes so painstakingly.
Well, it makes sense since, it was basically the first Avenger, but with Peggy in the Steve role.
Yeah. And I like how that changes stuff where it's like, yeah, they don't make her be a USO soldier, which means she has more time to get a jump on Hydra and actually get the cube back from them way earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, way freaking earlier. Also, too, that means that changes Red Skull's plan, so he can't make the big crazy bomber technology. So instead, he goes to the weirder, more mysticism side of Hydra, which they first brought up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm like, wait, are they actually referencing that now?
Yeah, all the, like, Wolfenstein stuff.
Very. I'm like, is this direct? Because if so, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, they fight like a big squid monster, which it might not be Shuma Gorath, but it's not mentioned, you know.
Maybe it's Hive. Who knows?
Yeah.
I do like the whole wraparound they do too for it, where it's like, hey, and then Agent Peggy Carter, Captain Carter goes somewhere else.
Yeah. I love that ending. How like they recreated that scene from Avengers where Loki gets teleported into Earth.
Yeah.
And you think of like, oh, who's it going to be? Oh, it's Agent Carter. Oh, she's here.
Oh. Which again, as we assume there, and as we've seen from the production artwork and everything, I guess all these different what if versions are coming together to form their own what if Avengers team.
They're the Guardians of the Multiverse, is what they're called.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's zombies this week, right?
I'm not sure what this week's episode is.
I want to say it's zombies. I think they like came out with like the actual episode synopsis late because
they did, but I haven't been reading them. I want to be like kind of surprised. I think the third episode is the Doctor Strange one, which everyone, like all the creators have been saying, you got to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. I'm down for all of this. I'm happy to take this ride.
Yeah.
Now, I guess with that out of the way, we can hop into the news this week. And like I said, we have so many earth-shattering topics this week that we are going to be talking about for a very long time now.
Yes.
It was one of those weeks, as they say.
Yeah, very.
It's just one of them days, as the bard Limp Bizkit said.
Who's back making music because it's the early 2000s again.
I cannot fucking believe that goddamn Fred Durst is back and looking like someone's dad. He was rolling, but a lot slower these days, you know, because he's got that lower back problem he's working on. You know, he's rolling responsibly.
Yeah.
Actually, he's always been really responsible is the thing, because he would like owned the goddamn record company. That's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, such a rebel Limp Bizkit. Yeah, chocolate starfish. No, dude, he was a fucking businessman, like a real serious businessman the whole time.
Yeah, he makes shitty movies now with John Travolta.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, the chat. Who? Fred Durst. Look it up.
That's that demographic. People don't know who Fred Durst is. Oh, wow. Man, I feel fucking old now.
You children. Goddamn, man, we are old. This is the fucked up thing. We're officially old now. No one knows our things anymore. Yeah, damn the kids and their rap rock new metal. Yeah, you're right. I'd say look it up, but you don't need to look up new metal. It's fine. Though honestly, I think, you know, maybe angry white boys should be allowed to have angry white boy music again. It'll at least keep them out of fucking politics, maybe for a minute.
Yeah, maybe.
keep them away from fucking YouTube and everything. Like, hey, Fred Durst wasn't the worst, but at least as far as, you know, role models for the angry white boy set goes, at least, you know, he wasn't, you know, committing crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, he was breaking stuff or whatever. The chat there, my cousin gave me a Limp Bizkit poster and a Christmas gift. No shit, really? Do you still have it? That's fucking amazing. All right. We could talk about Limp Bizkit forever, but we actually have important shit to talk about this week. So the big piece of news that happened this week that rocked the entire comic industry, I'm sure you saw it in your feed, I saw it in mine, is that James Tynion would be leaving DC Comics in November. Fear State would be his final Batman story, and he's done. He's walking away. He has not chosen to re-up his contract, even though they offered him a new 3-year contract. Callie's saying there, did you guys see the maybe Moon Knight costume? Yeah, I did. It looked all right. I don't know if it's real, though.
Looked fine, yeah.
It looked fine. I don't know if it's real, though. I mean, if it is real, I'd have no problem with it, but I'm skeptical about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, James Tynion walking away not only from Batman, walking away from DC Comics and superhero comics, period, despite them assumedly giving him a bigger contract and more money. And that is because, well, he has options now, Matt. He's got a fuck ton of options.
He does.
The biggest one, of course, is that, his 2 last big indie outings, Something's Killing the Children, and Quiet House on the Lake is the other one?
Yeah, the House on the Lake, yeah.
Yeah, apparently those were, again, I don't really follow indie comics like I should, but I know everyone was raving about these, and apparently it's even more than that. They had 2 of the best debuts of any indie comics in decades.
Yeah.
With numbers like right up there and comparable to the best stuff at Marvel and DC. And they were so good, apparently, that Hollywood came a-calling, and Netflix is already trying to turn them into like movies and TV shows and everything.
Yeah, this sounds like it's one of those stories we've heard 100 times before with other writers like Tom King and everything, where this one actually sounds like it's gonna pan out.
It is, because here's the thing. That's 2 big Netflix things back to back. So, man just got paid a fuck ton of money. And then on top of that, apparently they love what's going on with Something's Killing the Children and Quiet House on the Lake so much that they're even going back to his older indie work. Wind? Oh, it's The Nice House on the Lake, thank you. No, The Quiet House, The Nice. It's nice because it's quiet. But yeah, so apparently they went back to his other indie work, Wind, and apparently Hollywood wants to adapt that too. So he just got paid 3 times with massive Hollywood checks that he owns absolutely everything in.
Yep.
And to top it off, the cherry on the sundae was, again, just a couple weeks ago when we reported on this, when we talked about it, he also won Best Writer at the Eisner. So if you're James Tynion right now, you have no more worlds to conquer.
Yeah, everything's there for you. You're being offered up everything and anything.
All at once, and for a writer who's fairly young, he's he's worked hard and everything he's worked at. Actually, shit, he's been doing his thing for as long as we've been doing this, because I remember when he was new and we read his first book.
Yep.
So holy shit, he's been at this for as long as we've been at podcasting, and Lord knows no one's trying to make a Netflix series of this show just yet. So the man basically got fuck you money is what he got. And he's like, I don't actually need Batman anymore. You need me more than I need you.
Yeah.
And so he is leaving to concentrate on counting his Netflix and movie money. But also he's apparently throwing in behind a name, Matt, that we have not heard in some time.
Yep.
A name that I thought would be forgotten forever. Substack. Substack, of course, being the company that Nick Spencer left Spider-Man in comics to go handle, that he was going to be the guy wheeling and dealing and trying to get creators into that. And so far, so good, I would say.
Yeah, he's gotten James Tynion. Yeah.
Not just James Tynion. James Tynion was just the beginning of a whole glut of writers who are going to be working with Substack now. Other writers include Chip Zdarsky, Scott Snyder, who also just inked a 10-comic deal with Comixology and Dark Horse, Saladin Ahmed, and Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah. So, what was that thing about comics dying and everything? You know, if anything, they've been more profitable than ever before now.
Apparently so. Apparently someone has a lot of money to throw around in comic books because they see the value of them as intellectual properties. And man, I was not seeing this. A lot of people were comparing this to an Image-esque exodus from the big 2 companies. And I don't know if we're quite there yet, as we'll get into as we talk a little bit more. George G., I was really surprised to hear about Tynion's departure. I wish him only the best in his future projects. Same, man. Every time I talk to him, been a super nice dude.
Yeah. He's an absolutely fantastic writer and lovely man.
Yeah, really, really solid dude. Yeah, really nice guy. Always talked to me. Hell, I talked to him when he was just starting, when he had like just done annuals and doing talent. So he was like one of my very first interviews. So it's
Mhm.
real cool to see the man succeeding in that regard. But this, of course, begs the question: okay, so what the hell actually is Substack if it's actually, courting all of these major comic writers? Again, not just comic writers, but like the top guys in their industry, the guys writing X-Men, Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Batman, Daredevil. What are they doing to get them? So essentially Substack, and I actually made an account because I actually wanted to see what the hell it looked like and how it worked. So Substack, as far as I can tell, they started out, what is it? As like a political website, as like a place to get articles from people you like. You could get on mailing lists and follow them around and
Yeah.
everything. It's still pretty much like that as like a means of distribution, but it's also kind of like Patreon now for creators.
Mhm.
The idea being, if I make a comic, I can distribute it through Substack to people who follow me via, like, the whole what is it, the whole chain letter thing, so long as you pay and so long as I have your email and everything. The big difference between Substack and Patreon is obviously Patreon, you start with nothing and you got to try and build something off the back of it for fans to support you.
Yep.
Substack actually pays you money to use their service, and then you, like, what is it, collect fees from everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're a creator, basically sounds like the ultimate win-win.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Then again, I was also raised to believe if something is too good to be true, it probably is. And I'm like, okay, but what's the catch though on this? What is the horrible catch on this?
Yeah.
It's gotten so crazy too, is that all these same writers who have now left, mainstream comics to write stuff on Substack, it's even more than that. They're saying that they're going to be leaving social media now, that they're going to be doing all of their stuff via Substack to people who pay them money, so they can basically just, market and sell their stuff to people who know their stuff and are paying money. And I'm like, wow, how much money are they offering you that you're just gonna get off Twitter and Instagram and Facebook?
It must be pretty, like, they must get a pretty decent, like, percentage of all of this.
They must. They really must. Or at least so good where it's like, yeah, I'll fucking stop doing social media. Social media sucks.
Yeah.
I'll happily go somewhere else where, people can't yell at me and can't try and start fights with me just for trying to do my job.
And if they do, they have to pay.
They have to pay for you. Like, wow.
Someone's got to do that as well. Someone's absolutely got to do that.
Yeah. Oh, 100% they're going to do it. That's the other thing, too. They haven't quite announced what the pricing is going to be yet. And for a lot of people, this ends up being the sticking point where it's like, okay, how much money do I have to pay a month to be part of the Tynion Substack? And if I like reading other stuff, does that mean I have to pay the same amount or more to be part of the Snyder and the Hickman and the Zdarsky? And eventually it starts piling up there. And it's like, okay, am I paying as much for this as I am paying for regular comics? And also, I'm not going to be getting physical editions. They're very cagey about that. Who's getting physical editions and who's not?
Yeah, yeah.
That's another thing, because, is this going to be another like Netflix Steam type situation where it's like, well, do I really own my comics I buy now when I choose to buy them here?
Yeah.
NR saying that the catch is they aren't obligated to give you the comic in the same month. So again, a Patreon model, basically. Like, again, we're not obligated to give you the podcast every month if you're a patron, but God damn it, I feel like I should.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe I am obligated. I'll just, spend sleepless nights being like, fuck, I should really give them something, though, because they're giving me money. Fuck. So, I mean, really, again, on paper, this sounds like a beautiful situation where it's like, okay, you're putting the power completely in the hands of creators to know themselves, know their audience, and let them deal with them directly.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're Marvel and DC, how do you feel about this? Are you pulling your hair out? Are you getting scared now that they're essentially cutting you out?
Well, that's the interesting thing. It's like who's going to fill in these voids with like the talent they've got still?
Now, so far, there's no like conflicting contractual stuff where it's like, look, Tynion is free to finish up what he's doing on Batman and go do Substack. He just didn't renew his contract. Zdarsky, Snyder, Hickman, they're still doing all the stuff that they're already doing. They're just also doing Substack on the side. Because again, Marvel and DC don't see it as a threat yet. But when
Yeah.
they do start seeing it as a threat, and when they do start signing new people, will there be no Substack clauses where you're not allowed to do your own side project on there?
Well, no, I don't think it would be that aggressive, because a lot of
You
them
would hope not.
already do like their own indie stuff on the side. I would beg to think that maybe they'll start offering them a bit more lucrative. Maybe they'll bring back the exclusive contract thing, because that thing just went away, and then Substack came in.
I know, right? I bet they're kicking themselves for the timing. Hey, we've done away with exclusive contracts for most of our people. Fuck, we should have had those exclusive contracts.
Yeah, so maybe they'll bring them back in some way and just offer up some like really tantalizing stuff to get them back in or something.
Quite possibly. Maybe they'll offer them some stock. I don't know. Maybe some merch. Maybe bigger cuts of the characters they own. Because it's funny, this story couldn't have hit at a better time, because there was also an article floating around from Brubaker and a few of the other creators who were upset at what they got on the movie side of things, where it's like, hey, I invented the Winter Soldier. I wrote that story. They turned it into a $1 billion movie and another $1 billion franchise on top of it. You know what I got? A thank you and $5,000.
Yeah, I got invited to the premiere.
Yeah, which here's my thing. That's total bullshit, and that sucks. And yet, in the back of my mind, as a comic fan who has been, conditioned to think so much worse, I'm like, wow, you got a thank you? Wow, they actually gave you money? Wow. Because I assumed it was always nothing. And if you talk to people like Jerry Conway, who has to like fight tooth and nail to be like, hey, I invented all of this Firestorm stuff. Why aren't I being thanked in the credits for Flash till they eventually do it?
Yeah.
And like the Ghost Rider guy who also had to fight tooth and nail for stuff and shit. This goes back even further to like Siegel and Schuster, who were broke and destitute at the end of their careers, and they created fucking Superman.
Yeah, their families had to fight on their behalf to try and get something, and eventually they did, which is why in the comics you see their names always credited by Superman and Superboy.
Yeah, which again, and that was decades after the fact, and that was the bare minimum, where it's like, look, okay, we might not be able to get the money there out, but you got to at least thank them. You got to at least put their name on it.
And again, it's all these goddamn like suits, all these lawyers and everything that like do all this sort of stuff. It's not like you're like Kevin Feige or anything willingly doing this. It's all like the suits and stuff's out of his control, basically.
Yeah, this was like predatory shit that was done in like the goddamn 30s, and they just never got rid of it. Because again, if you're a comic writer, you're a freelancer. If you're a comic artist, you're a freelancer. There's no union protection out there. So just yet another thing in American culture where it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was some protection from this shit? The chat asking the question too, where it's like, is this sustainable? For Tynion, it's definitely sustainable because he has fuck you money now. He's totally cool rolling the dice on this because it sounds like he became very rich in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, or at least he's got like, something to fall back on in case if it doesn't work out or anything.
Absolutely. Guys like Hickman and Snyder, they've been at this a long time. I don't know what their portfolios look like. Maybe they have some stuff squirreled away too. I mean, well, friggin' Snyder just signed a 10-book deal for Comixology and Dark Horse.
He also teaches as well.
He also teaches on the side too.
I think the Andy Kubert School or something.
So yeah, he's got stuff to fall back on, and probably got a nice nest egg from the Amazon Corporation and Comixology and everything. As for the other guys, I don't know. If it's tenable, we're really going to have to wait and see, because we are in the wait and see phase right now. Obviously, I'm sure you have stories. I have stories too of other similar freaking startups that crashed and burned, and it could still very well be that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also one of those things too where it's like, God damn, how unhappy must you have been at these other companies where it's like, yep, I'm gonna roll the dice on this Substack thing. Nick Spencer seems to trust it.
Is it a question of whether he was unhappy, or just the fact that it was so enticing he got to do his own thing?
I'm sure it's a little of both. I know there's some quotes floating around there that may be attributed to him, maybe not. There's a lot of hearsay and conjecture.
I did see something about when he was going on Substack. Again, this is Bleeding Cool, so it's probably hyperbole, like taking shit out of context and stuff. Yeah. He did say he was going to start talking about 5G and the stuff when Dan DiDio was at DC and stuff. And one hand, that's pretty interesting. On the other hand, it's a little bit petty. You're kind of burning
It
your
is.
bridges there a little bit. So again, it kind of makes me question whether that
That-
was actually true or not.
Exactly. But then at the same time, too, I'm like, man's got fuck you money. This is the fuck you part of having fuck you money. Jace Jensen saying this is only going to support our favorite writers' work in their dream projects. Yeah, and when you put it that way, it's really hard to fight with it. Where it's like, yeah, I like this guy. I'd like to put, cash into his pocket that, doesn't get picked on by the big corporate guys and the suits and the executives and everything.
Yeah, I am very intrigued to see what like projects they're going to be working on. Like, is this going to be like, are they going to be all individual? Is this going to be the start of like the
shared universe.
Substack imprint universe?
Oh my
sort
God.
of thing?
I'm sure they've talked about that. I'm sure they're like, hey, let's do our own thing. But also, wouldn't it be cool if they were interconnected like Image was back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, the quote, too, from that Bleeding Cool article, which, again, probably wrong, take with a grain of salt, that stuck out to me was, again, a quote attributed to, why Tynion was creating so many new characters in his Batman run, which is divisive. I know you and I liked it because it's like, yeah, give us new characters. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, you have the Penguin in Detective Comics and he's not fucking doing anything. Might as well give us something new. Apparently, the reason that, that led to so much frustration on Tynion's part and why he created so many original characters was attributed to the fact that it's like, every DC character now in this age of multimedia has a different mandate attached to them and a different thing that I can and can't do. And and as a writer, it's stifling and it's, shackling and everything. And it's like, basically, I created a bunch of new characters because they couldn't tell me what to do with them.
Yeah, he could do whatever he wants with. And now when they're reused again, he'll probably get like some sort of kickback.
He gets a little bit of money off the back of it, which, again, we call that the Bendis school of writing.
Well, I was actually about to mention it. It's like you see writers do this all the time, and that's probably the main reason why they do it. They create new characters, not just because they'll get like some sort of kickback, but because don't have to adhere to like a strict set of rules. Like, this character has to be like act like this, or like they can't be showing in this light or that light and stuff like that. They can do whatever they want.
We have a movie coming up, so hey, don't do that.
Yeah, draw him like this, and make him wear this costume, this sort of stuff. Yeah,
don't kill them yet. Don't marry them. Don't do any of this other stuff because we need to keep them clean and pure for the future. And hey, speaking of the future, this actually dovetails quite nicely with the next story. So Tynion is done in November at the end of Fear State, and they're already trying to hype up the next big thing for Batman, even though they haven't announced who the new creative team is going to be for Batman.
Yeah.
The next big thing is going to be something called Shadow of the Bat, which, of course, is a long-running title that they've done. And the whole idea is, as we can see from this Fear State Omega cover art, apparently at the end of Fear State, for some reason or another, Batman will be leaving Gotham City. For some reason, he'll be leaving Gotham and not coming back, and it's up to the other heroes to try and fill the void. So it's fucking Battle for the Cowl without being called Battle for the Cowl, and he's not dead, he's just gone. How ironic is it that Batman is leaving the book around the same time the writer is leaving?
Again, it'll be they're just putting him in stasis for now, for like probably only a couple of months until they narrow down a writer, and then they'll have the big, probably #1 again.
Return of Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman Returns.
Yep.
Which, again, that makes it feel like that Tynion not re-signing really took DC by surprise. Where they're like, but we thought you would. Yeah, well, you thought wrong.
Yeah, maybe they got a little bit too cocky with like, oh, hey, of course he will. It's Batman. We're letting him do kind of whatever he wants.
Yeah, Batman will be joining Substack. You're right, Chad. That's why he left. Batman has his own vigilante projects.
Bruce Wayne joined Substack.
He has his own vigilante projects there that he's going to be selling to you directly. He hopes that you will enjoy them and his, Bruce Wayne newsletter every month. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. I guess this begs the question, too, and, Chad, feel free to weigh in on this as well. who's going to be the next person to take on Batman? Because again, as Tynion said before, he was only supposed to write till issue 100. He was only supposed to write until Joker War was done. Then Ridley would come on, and the whole 5G new Batman thing would have taken over. Obviously, that didn't happen. That got shifted around. We got Future State books and digital books, and now what is it? Jace Fox is getting a whole other book that came out this week.
Well, see, yeah, I could see him like doing that book, and then maybe Ridley doing the actual Batman book with like a fully established Jace Fox, because the Iron Batman looks to be just like setting up his going, like finding out what kind of Batman he wants to be and everything. So you've got that story in that book, and then in the Batman book you've got Jace Fox as Batman proper.
It does kind of feel like we had several, like, what is it, origin story starts for Jace, like, okay, yeah. and now yeah, having it be Ridley would make sense, because they're like, well, we had you in the hopper already, didn't we? And you kind of didn't get your chance, so maybe now is the time.
Yeah, chances are they'll have like a stopgap writer. One will come in for like an arc until like whoever's next, be it Ridley or someone else, has enough issues like stacked so they can just start releasing them or something.
Usually how it goes. I know some people were saying Jorge Jimenez, because he's been doing such an amazing job drawing, maybe he should get to write some.
He's staying on as artist.
He is, which is good, because Batman looks fucking sweet now.
Yeah, it looks great.
Batman looks sweet awesome. A lot of people, of course, jumped to Taylor. See, I think they had the option to put Taylor in charge of Batman a long time ago, and they didn't do it because he's not under an exclusive contract. Though maybe they'll want him under one now to stop him from going to Substack.
I just find it funny that like you need to be in an exclusive contract to write like the main Batman book. Well, meanwhile, they've got the guy writing like the next big event coming out. The next big couple of events coming out. They've got him writing in the fucking Superman main book. A bunch of other Batman like tie-in books.
Yeah, exactly. You can write a Superman that's not quite Superman, and you can write all these other big events, but no, we gotta get you on an exclusive contract. But meanwhile, they don't do that with other characters, because again, fucking G. Willow Wilson wrote Wonder Woman for a bit and was writing other stuff for Marvel at the same time.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird.
It's bat privilege is what it is. We only give a shit about Batman. He's our specialist boy. He's our goodest specialist boy. Pat his head. Why don't you? Other people said Matthew Rosenberg. Yeah, Rosenberg is on a similar track to Tynion, and that is he's been putting in his work all over the place, and I think it's only a matter of time before one day he gets his chance.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, come on, they gave him Grifter, and he didn't scoff about it.
He actually wrote something really great with Grifter.
Yeah, you passed the Grifter test, Rosenberg. Now you get to write Batman. Other people saying Joshua Williamson. I think Williamson is too busy with the 100 other things he's doing.
Oh, yeah. He's moved above Batman, and now he's on, like, the crisis level events.
Yeah, I can't write Batman because I'm too busy holding up this fucking universe almost single-handedly now with my ideas. But yeah, so yeah, there's your big Tynion news, everyone there. And again, we're going to be talking about this for a long time to come, because I think this is the beginning of something. I really do. Like, the reverberations from this, we're going to feel a long time coming. And again, like I said, so much of this is so new, we don't even know the price point for this Substack stuff yet.
Yeah, not all their particular stuff, at least.
Yeah, what's that going to be? So again, I really thought when Spencer left for Substack, it's like, oh, well, he's going for another weird startup. We probably won't hear about him or that company ever again. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. And maybe it's good that I was wrong. I mean, hey, if it keeps our favorite creators happy and helps them put a little bit more money in their pocket, then it can only be a net good.
Yeah.
Here's hoping the people who run it don't turn out to be like a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Bunch of like, Ponzi scheme fucking con men or something. Yeah.
Because let's face it, when they were describing Substack to me, I'm like, this sounds like some weird email you get from Russia.
Yeah.
Also, people making the argument, too, where it's like, Substack is so much better. It's not a cesspool like Twitter is. And I'm like, well, apparently you can do a lot of shitty stuff on Substack, too, if you're one of those people. So
Give it time.
Yeah, much like YouTube. That's right. They put that in there, too. They put YouTube in there as well. That's not a cesspool. I'm like, hey, I know YouTube's a cesspool. Don't tell me. I'm trying to keep my part of the pool clean and without pee in it. Come on. I'm trying here. Maybe again, should the comic multiverse have a Substack? Should that be the new thing? We just go right there. It's the same show. It's just in friggin'
in text form.
It's in text form. Yeah, that's all it is.
It's just a transcript.
Yeah, I literally thought of that too. I'm like, should we make a new show for Substack? Should we do the thing? And then I'm like, I think anyone who would want to join the comic multiverse Substack has already joined our Patreon. So like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get in the comic multiverse Substack, yeah, tell me about it. Tell you what, if we think of a good idea for it, we'll do it. Hey, will that place let us do commentaries and show the videos and movies?
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. Substack is OnlyFans for comic writers. I mean, yeah, and OnlyFans has been really successful for the people who use it, and much similarly allows you to put money in those people's pockets who deserve it without several other parties taking the money. Though from what I understand, OnlyFans is cracking down on that too, much like freaking, what is it, Tumblr did?
Yeah, they're moving away from all the pornographic material because they're a real company now.
And acting just like Tumblr about it too. There's erotica on our website. We had no idea. What? No, we're for wholesome content. No, not us. Never us. We're just making money off the back of these sex workers, we can then try and turn to something else. And again, much like Tumblr, let's see what happens when you try and take the porn out of it. Does not end well. Never ends well. Yes, get there for Josh Hickman feet pics.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's like, look, so I wanted to put way more feet in this X-Men run, and they just wouldn't let me. It's all here now. It's like, but Hickman, this is just a whole book of feet. I know, right?
Yeah, it's been building up to this. This is what this is how they made the Mysterium and were able to like colonize Mars. It was all because of the feet.
All because of the feet. Well, I guess it's good we found out now, Mr. Hickman, this way.
The serums, the life-giving serums that we gave to all the humans are all made from like feet shavings from Nightcrawler and all those people.
That would be a real dick move. You really want to understand the reign of X and where it's going? Give me $3.99 for my Substack. Tell you all about it. Here's the panels that were too spicy.
I'll spoil it before the books come out.
Man,
DC Solicitations did that with Suicide Squad this week.
I know they did.
Goddamn spoiled the fucking Superboy reveal. God damn it.
Yeah, they're really bad about that. They really are. Yeah, Solicitations, they've been doing that for a while. DC is worse about it than Marvel is. Marvel will even go like a step too far. Like, who could it be? It's a mystery. We know who it is. Come on. We know who it is, where DC's like, here you go. We don't give a fuck. The worst part is that when I'm interviewing a creator and I have to break their heart by telling them something that they didn't know was already out there in Solicitations, them having to stifle like a motherfucker. Twice I've done that. Once when I interviewed Kyle Higgins during Nightwing, and once when I interviewed Jimmy Palmiotti during during his All-Star Western run.
Oh, god damn it.
I told them information they didn't know was already out there in the world. They're like, motherfucker, they're gonna ruin the surprise. I worked really hard on that, and then they just put it in the solicitation. Those dicks. And that's another reason why creators are going to Substack. Because no one can spoil it in solicitations there.
Well, at least they might do solicitations. Start doing the Substack solicitations.
It could be, man. That's going to be a crazy ass world we're in, where we got to read the Substack solicitations.
It's solicitations for fucking newsletters.
Man, 2022 is going to be crazy, y'all. Just saying. Going to be mad. All right, now with that out of the way, we can move on to other topics, because believe it or not, we're still not done.
No.
So the trailer for this dropped a couple weeks ago, and we didn't talk about it because I couldn't bring myself to care. But now that there's 2 new stories attached to it, I guess I do have to mention it. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is getting pushed back because, oh no, we all opened too early, but oh no, there's a 4th wave coming, so I guess we gotta stop shit now.
Yeah, I don't care.
Same. Nothing is lost. I was not excited for this. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
It'll be the same if I watch it in my house eventually.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
I ain't getting COVID to go see fucking Tom Hardy sweat for 2 hours.
But he did all his own sweat stunts. What about Woody Harrelson biting people? Don't you love that is how he becomes Carnage, because he bit him?
Yes, exactly like the comics, you know.
Even in a universe of dumb space parasites and living suits, I'm like, really? He
Yeah.
becomes Carnage because he bit
Yeah.
seriously?
Of course, it's because they couldn't figure out how to do this without like somehow having Spider-Man involved. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same with like Venom and everything. He doesn't actually how does he exist because there's no Spider-Man before Eddie gets the symbiote? Doesn't make any
I
sense.
I guess this is one of those things we're not supposed to take seriously, because the movie's clearly a comedy now, because you can see the Lord and Miller, what is it, effect on it, where it's like, no, people liked the first one because it was dumb and bad, so lean into making it dumb and bad.
Did people like it because of that? Because I've seen people who genuinely like the film and are like, "What the fuck are you smoking?"
It is weird. Again, the fact that reactions run as hot and cold as they do to this movie blows my mind, because in our review I said it's like there's barely any movie here at all.
No, yeah, it's just scenes.
It's just scenes stitched together. But yeah, this is one of those times too, and I mentioned this on Twitter, where it's like they're gonna actually try and make this a better movie. And I think by making it a better movie, they're going to alienate a part of the audience who are like, oh, no, I liked the first one because it was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Or also, when you try and make a bad movie on purpose, that usually doesn't work out. Usually, to create a room or something, you have to be, genuine about it.
Yeah, genuinely like incompetent and like believe in like the product you're making and everything, except it doesn't never pans out.
The stupidity of it all.
Yeah.
I will say, I did think it was kind of funny that, like, when Woody Harrelson is just sitting there, not as Carnage, he's got like one of those like fun patterned suit jackets that's red and black. I'm like, oh, so it looks like his comic costume.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just upset he doesn't have that wig that he had at the end
I
of
know, right?
Venom. Why? Why did they get rid of that wig?
He needs to have the wig all the time, and like no one needs to talk about the wig. Like everyone is just actively ignoring the fact that he's wearing a bad wig.
Yeah, it never comes up.
Never comes up at all. This also looks like Woody Harrelson being like, you got me for like half the day, so we better like knock this out.
Oh yeah, do you want to bet that Cletus isn't actually in the film all that much, and it's just mostly what's on screen at the moment, which is just a mess of bad CGI tentacles.
CG comic, CG animation monster, absolutely.
And they have someone else doing the voice because it sounds like it's like a monster voice. It's not actually Woody's voice. Yeah.
I very much think so, which is why they gave him the jacket, because it's like, look, he doesn't want to put on the suit. He doesn't want to put on any of the gray pajamas or anything to try and kind of make this a thing. So just give him a jacket.
He actually just wore that to set. Like
he is a fashion trendsetter. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
This can't possibly make $1 billion again, right? This can't fluke its way into $1 billion again.
Not in COVID, not like in a COVID world.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, nothing can make $1 billion now.
Yeah, but I'm still like surprised the first one fucking did. I feel like I was taking crazy pills. People see the same movie we saw.
I know, the fact that we're still talking about Venom because of that blows my mind. I'm like, oh, this is a nothing movie. This is going to be forgotten. This is going to be like fan four stick. Everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like the perfect storm of that stuff. It was like a film steeped in like early 2000s, like mannerisms of how they'd make like action films and like superhero films. It had a fucking a song in the soundtrack by Eminem. Like all these things that would be like, oh, in like 2005 this movie would have been a hit, and it somehow it fucking was a hit in fucking 2018.
Yeah, came from a completely different time and place, and yet somehow it found an audience, which on one hand I'm like, I guess that's good, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And also the fact that they had to make a Venom movie divorced from everything Spider-Man, even though that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's a fuck of a thing. Yeah, let's put it that way.
It's fucking Sony, man.
Tell me about it. Shit. All right, what else we got after that? Oh, we mentioned Tom Taylor, so let's mention him again. His big secret project for DC that he's kind of been leaving little breadcrumb trails for finally got announced this week, and it's Medieval Dark Knights of Steel.
Yeah, there was some Middle Ages thing like that was like rumored to be happening at DC, and I guess this is it.
I guess so. Jace Jensen helping us again. Because the first movie we had the amazing Venom run by Coates, so I'll take it where I can get. Fair enough. If there's a silver lining, that's the silver lining.
Yeah.
There you go. Someone else saying Tom Hardy puts asses in seats. Does he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I've never considered him to be a leading man. I've always thought him to be a more interesting character actor.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, and definitely not like you look at like his Mad Max characters and stuff like that. He's not the main character, even though his name's on the poster. But like, he's better as that side character actor. Chews up the scenery. I guess that's what he did in Venom, though. So
true enough.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it did play to his fucking strengths, I guess. But yeah, so Dark Knights of Steel, exactly what it looks like. What if all your favorite DC characters were knights and queens and jesters and everything?
Yeah, this is some universe, some alternate reality where it's just all set in like medieval times.
And the answer to what if that happened would be it would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Did you see some of the variant covers? They're all done like D&D character sheets. It's like a Superman one with all his like strength and agility and all that sort of stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, we might have to do something to tie into that. We might have to do the medieval times Justice League. This is cool too because it always feels like there's not enough that either comic company puts in for sword and sorcery. So I'm glad to see that we finally have an option now for it. And it's also sword and sorcery featuring, the big AAA characters, not the side characters like Shining Knight and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I no doubt knowing Taylor, they will be integrally involved in all of this.
Because if not, why even do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to see Merlin, Morgan Le Fay. We're going to see all those characters. Etrigan, probably, because he's from that time.
Yeah, as you said, Shining Knight, people like that. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Jay's Green Arrow better be in it, and he better be Robin Hood with the little hat.
Oh, he is. That's that was like the first thing Tom Taylor wrote on the whiteboard underneath the name of the book. Green Arrow equals Robin Hood.
I am Oliver of Queensbury, and these are my merry men. We rob from the rich and give to the poor. We call it the redistribution of wealth. But yeah, this looks super cool. I'm super on board for this.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. Man, he's got this. He's got Dark Ages at Marvel. Just killing it.
Yeah, that's coming out soon, isn't it? Feels like it's taking forever to come out, that.
I mean, everything's coming out forever now because of COVID.
Yeah.
But we're not done there. We got more DC books coming out as we found from the solicitations this week. Hey, you've been liking that Infinite Frontier? We've been reading that Infinite Frontier.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It doesn't end there because Justice League and Carnage is getting their own miniseries from Josh Williamson.
Yeah, a direct sequel from Infinite Frontier.
Yeah, because they're a big part of that story, and the story couldn't stop there.
Yeah. Looks
good, and surprising too that it took them this long to give us a straight up Justice League Incarnate book.
Yeah. I seriously thought like between Multiversity and now we would have at least had one run somewhere.
Yeah, you would have think they would have pulled the trigger on because it's such a cool concept. It's Exiles, but for the DC universe.
Yeah, and I guess that's where we're going now with this.
You know what it is? They couldn't do it until there was a Batman on the team. Now they have a Batman and they can do it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, they've got basically all the members of the Justice League on there somehow.
Sure, they sure did. I guess this also answers the hanging question too, and that is what happens to Thomas Wayne. His own Earth is destroyed. He can't go back to the main universe. Oh, he just sticks around with Justice League Incarnate.
Yeah, I guess he finds his team. They'll make it. They'll do something where it's like, oh, they're all a band of like people who can't go back to their own worlds or something.
Yeah, misfits, tramps, and thieves.
Yeah.
Kali helping us out again there. You think this is the start of a new Taylor universe? He really could. I'm sure we could make a big, long theory video about how Injustice, Dark Knights of Steel, Deceased, how they all connect.
Yeah, they all connect via the Omniverse.
Yeah, how they're all actually part of the same universe. It's like the Pixar theory. That's what it is. It's the Pixar theory. This is in the past, this is in the future.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all good. But yeah, I'm super stoked for this. I love how Williamson has been writing the Justice League Incarnate. I'm more than happy to go on another adventure with them.
I like it, and I like that it's the same. We'll talk about it when we talk about Infinite Frontier this week. But I just like that it's not the Justice League as the main characters. and like it's different versions of characters we know, so we basically get to like experience them for the first time again. You can explore with like Calvin Ellis, and recorrecting everything that was done wrong with the Flashpoint Batman.
Gotta rehab that character. Yeah, having Calvin Ellis in such a strong leading role too, I'm sure is also a DC mandate right now, because like we're probably gonna get movies and TV shows about him at some point.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Same. He's a cool character. I like it. Captain Coon in the chat again, also helping us out. Harley Quinn is a Harley Quinn in Knights of Steel. Technically, she's a jester. A Harley Quinn is a nouveau riche French thing. That didn't happen till later. We're in the wrong time here. Sorry to be a fucking nerd about sexy clown women, but I put a lot of time. You see, the Harley Quinn actually comes from Italian theater, and it's a whole thing. Tevi in there. Well, what about the JSA book? Where's that? Oh, yeah.
That's coming out. Give it some time. You know, it was only announced like a couple of weeks ago in that Stargirl book.
Yeah, I was just saying, I guess that Stargirl book basically is as close as you're getting to a JSA book.
Oh, no, we're actually getting one. That was the announcement in the back of that book, that there was a JSA book coming.
Oh, it is actually happening. I assume
that
it was
we just don't know when it's going to be happening. I have to imagine it'll be within the new year sometime.
Right.
Mark Waid just came back to the company, to DC, so maybe he's writing it with Jeff Johns.
Seems likely, I would say.
Yeah.
Because they both love that era, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not just the League getting some love. Wonder Woman is getting some love, too. The Wonder Woman book is actually rebranding with a new #1 and a new writer.
Yeah. Or this is like a miniseries.
Is it? I assume that it was the next thing, because they make it sound like it's the next
6 issues
thing.
Or something.
Okay.
I think it technically is, but it's a miniseries before they imagine they go back to whatever.
Okay, because I was going to say, are they doing the same thing they're doing with Shang-Chi, where it's like, it's a new miniseries? No, it's not. It's volume 2. Yeah, but shut up. People like new #1s. It's called Wonder Woman Evolution. It's written by Stephanie Phillips, who, of course, is writing Harley right now, which I'm hearing great things. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm hearing good things.
She wrote the Harley Quinn Future State books, and they were wonderful.
They were excellent, yeah. As the most I enjoyed Harley outside the show in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this basically, again, sounds like a continuation of where Wonder Woman's at right now. She ascended to a higher plane. She started screwing around in time like sliders, and now it seems that she's going to basically be the champion that will decide if Earth will be destroyed or not.
Yeah, pretty much where they were sending her character. Because I just caught up on all her issues, and it's been pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
She just fought Wonder Man and the gender bent Justice League of Earth 20. You know that Earth where like Batman's the woman and there's Superwoman and Aquaman's Aqua woman who's on the Justice League Incarnate, and yeah.
I love the gender bent Earth. It's such a fun idea.
Yeah.
Much like Justice League Incarnate, how have we not got a gender bent ongoing series? I think that would be really popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this looks to be a continuation of that. Phillips has been doing really good recently. Again, I so want to get into Wonder Woman, and I love this pitch, but I feel like this is just the rut that Wonder Woman has been stuck in. Hey, new status quo, new writer. Okay, new status quo, new writer again. Nothing can ever stick. Nothing can ever stay for Wonder Woman.
Well, this recent run by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad feels like what Robert Venditti did with Hawkman and his run, where it's like, we're making it everything. We're putting it all together, and if you liked the Wonder Woman in the 70s, that's in here. If you like the Wonder Woman from the early 2000s, that's in here. It's all in here. It all matters.
As it should be for Wonder Woman, a character who has had such a history. And again, the only thing consistent with Wonder Woman is the inconsistency. Like, Batman, Superman, they get big, long, years-long runs. Wonder Woman's like, change it. Do this, do that. We have to keep printing it, but do whatever.
Yeah.
It would be nice that they could have the thing where it's like, no, this is the Wonder Woman you need to read. No, Wonder Woman's the biggest, hottest book right now. Saying who would win in a fight, Captain Carter or Wonder Woman. Well, that's for the fan art community to decide, not me. It's all up to you guys. Let's see what you got. They'll make it a fucking death battle at some point. Everything becomes a goddamn death battle at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I like that show, even though sometimes the matchups are like, are you serious? Come on.
It's very obvious who's going to win this.
You know what it is? Sometimes it feels like an algorithm is writing it, where it's like, look, we crunched the numbers, and this seems like that it would probably bring in the most views, which might explain why Death Battle is one of the most successful things on the internet.
They put the names into like one of those online like random sorted generator things, and just spit out, okay, we've got videos for the next 10 weeks.
There you go. Let's go. Can you believe that channel used to be called Screw Attack? Now it's just Death Battle.
Yeah.
Never, like, very rarely do I think that I can point to an example of something like, wow, that was so successful, it absorbed everything else around it. It rarely ever happens. It's nice to have an example to point to.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from there, we have the results of the big DC fan vote. Remember, Matt, it was a whole bracketed tournament of what books, DC was going to make. They put the power in the fans' hands, and there were some interesting ideas in there. There was some Suicide Squad stuff, some Blue Beetle stuff in there, and eventually the winner was finally crowned this week, and it turns out that it's going to be Tim Seeley's Robins miniseries.
Yes, the fans were given the opportunity to choose, and they choose Batman yet again.
I mean, they chose Robin, but still. It's Batman adjacent, but yeah, you're right. That sure doesn't help us for complaining, being like, oh, DC, they always play things so safe. DC, can they never do anything new? Well, they put the power in your hands, and you still fucking chose Batman. So maybe DC knows you better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
This looks cool, though. I really like Tim Seeley. It's nice to see that they're focusing on all the Robins, including Stephanie Brown. I love she now gets to be part of this lineage where in the Dan DiDio years, like, she wasn't a Robin.
Yep.
But she was, though. But she wasn't. But she was, though. But fuck you, though. Did you think about that? I mean, I didn't, not till you said it, but okay. This is actually the first of a couple big Robin-centric stories we're going to be talking about. I don't really know what this one is about yet, but it's cool that Robins has its own book, especially because the main Robin book with Damian has been so good.
Yeah. And again, Tim Seeley's back writing it, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Seeley wrote that King Shark series for Suicide Squad that I haven't had a chance to pick up yet, but I breezed through it and it looked good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
He brought back Defacer, Nightwing's old girlfriend from his run.
Oh, nice.
So I look forward to this basically being a continuation of the stuff that Seeley did with Nightwing for all those years. And the other Robins, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good. Again, I probably would have wanted the Suicide Squad one to win, but I can't complain too much because we have like 3 Suicide Squad books going on.
I'm surprised that the Blue Beetle one didn't win, just because I see so many people going on about how they want Blue Beetle to be back in the comics. Well, I shouldn't say Blue Beetle. They want Jaime Reyes back in the comics
specifically. Yeah,
Blue Beetle is back in the comics. But yeah, I suspected that one would have won.
Likewise, I think it is. I think Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle fans are a lot like Richard Rider Nova fans. There's a lot of them. They're very vocal, but there's not as many as you think.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just the most vocal, as they should, because Jaime is great, and Jaime really didn't get his day in the sun that he should have.
No.
I've said it many times before. You see the success of characters like Miles Morales and Kamala Khan and Sam Alexander, and it's like, yo, Jaime was doing all this first.
Yeah, is that damned Dio?
Yeah, he crawled so all these other characters could run at the other company.
Yeah.
and I've mentioned it time and time again, too, with Blue Beetle. The problem, I think, why they can never get a good Blue Beetle series started again is people don't actually want a new Blue Beetle starring Jaime Reyes. They want a continuation / finale to the Geffen stuff that they were loving. They pulled the plug just when it was getting really good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like, no, I don't want him to be mad. I don't want new. I just finish the story I was enjoying, please. That's what it really comes down to. People were like fucking denied. Like imagine if that Miles Morales book, the first Ultimate one with Bendis, imagine if they pulled the plug on that before the like final stuff with Uncle Aaron and everything.
Yeah. Like right before, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been such bullshit? And we'd all still be talking about, like, remember how good it was? Yeah, remember the Back 2C? I remember the Back 2C. But yeah, so there's one piece of Robin news, but believe it or not, we're not done there because, again, half the new books that DC announced for November are going to all be Batman or Batman adjacent. Get ready for the big return of Batman and Robin. but not as an ongoing as a 3-issue miniseries from Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, and actually called Robin and Batman.
Oh, did I mix it up? Is it actually called Robin and Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's nice for Robin to get top billing.
Yeah, so there's a bit of focus Tim Drake, I imagine, because he's the Robin at the moment.
No, actually, I think they said it's Batman and Robin in their early days, so I think it's also Dick, just in the past.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fine. I like Jeff Lemire. It's been a while since Jeff Lemire has done a DC comic.
Yeah, I think his last thing was that Joker Killer Smile stuff.
That's true. It's been a really long time. Also, I'm just happy that a Batman and Robin book is back. I feel that's a line that DC has just kind of been ignoring.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. It's good to have it. Again, it's not like we have a shortage of Batman books. Batman, Detective, The Joker, which is also a Batman book right now. Robin, which is basically a Batman book after a fashion.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're a Robin fan, it's been a good week for you. A lot of big announcements, and don't worry, we'll talk about the other thing. We're waiting for the end of the show to talk about that thing. Because see, I want you to stick around and watch all the other stuff. That's how you do it. That's how we do business here. Now our next story here, again, from Batman and Robin, or Robin and Batman, to Captain America and Iron Man from Derek Landy. Yeah, these two are finally getting a book together now, a buddy piece.
Yeah, feels like a long time since they've sort of like been together outside of the Avengers.
It's true. It's the world's finest of Marvel, everyone. This is also going to be a mini-series. It's going to see Steve and Tony team up because of a new Hydra villain who is connected to both of them, apparently.
Okay, so I wonder if that'll spin out of both of their series.
I also wonder that, too, especially because they have not announced what the new Captain America status quo is going to be once Christopher Cantwell has done that miniseries.
Yeah, because I could see it spinning out of that, but I don't know where it would spin out of Iron Man, because Iron Man's currently, like, in space on a hippie commune fighting Korvac, so yeah.
Who knows? Also, isn't it funny that Christopher Cantwell is writing Iron Man and writing Captain America currently, but he's not writing this team-up book?
Yeah, when I first saw this, I saw the cover and thinking, oh yeah, Christopher Cantwell's writing, a dual book now, and it's not him.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was shocked. I'm like, Derek Landy? Okay. Fair enough. I imagine this being a big success just because, hey, we took two successful characters and put them in a book together.
Yeah.
Isn't that going to be fun? I agree, especially because Steve and Tony find themselves at interesting places in their lives right now.
Exactly, yeah.
It'll be funny to see them team up and see what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully it does follow on from what's happening in their books at the moment.
Agreed. I'm sure Steve will be like, oh God, I'm so thankful to fight a threat that's not just trying to, tarnish my name as Captain America.
Please let that be a joke. Finally, just something I can punch.
Finally, something different. Finally, not something, so complex and layered and nuanced. And Iron Man's like, cool, I can take morphine again. Did I tell you about my time on a hippie commune? No, please do. I'm all ears. That's just the whole book. It's just them drinking coffee together, talking about all the shit that's been going on with them. And then at the end, it's like, oh, look, a supervillain. Let's get him. Then they clobber him, and that's the end of the series.
Yeah, just a one-page, fight, one little panel. They just, punch him in the face, and it's over.
Look, we told you that they'd be fighting a villain. They fought the villain. Now sit and watch as they drink coffee and talk about stuff.
Hey, I'd read it.
Same. I'd totally do it. Now, after that, we got another piece of news here. This actually involves the convention scene in a big landmark piece of news that I feel kind of got buried under the whole Substack stuff and that conversation. Wizard World, who does many conventions all over the United States, and I think they have stuff in other countries too. I only know about the American ones.
Mm-hmm.
But they sold their entire operation to Fan Expo.
Yeah, just kind of out of the blue.
I don't think it's out of the blue. It's because they haven't been able to put on shows, which means they're hard up for cash, which means they had to sell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wizard World for a lot of people was an institute. I heard a lot of people say that it was pretty generic, the people who went there. But still, if you lived in an area, Wizard World was probably your first con or your only con. And with this acquisition by Fan Expo is now the biggest convention organizer, geek-centric media thing in North America.
Yeah.
which is pretty huge.
That's pretty big, yeah.
I think the only one that only even comes close is the one who does Fan Expo. What the hell are they called again? Fuck, I've gotten emails from these people. Again, they do stuff in like India and all over the world, those guys. But yeah, so this is a pretty big shakeup now. One company basically runs everything now.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, a bad thing. I'm not really too sure. I have to imagine that there's probably something pretty bad about it.
I mean, yeah, usually less competition is always a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I can say that I've been to a number of Fan Expo shows. Obviously, Fan Expo does Fan Expo Calgary and Fan Expo Toronto, and basically all the ones I've been to in the Greater Toronto, Canada, Ontario area, and I've always had a good time there. They've always treated me well and everything. I've never gone as a guest, though. So they need to get on that.
Okay.
But, hey, Fan Expo, you run everything now, so you're finally ready for me. You couldn't before. It was like collecting all the Dragon Balls, but now you have them all. And you can summon me.
They've got all the Infinity Stones, yeah.
And not bump me for Ricky Berwick or whatever the heck that guy's name is.
Hey, if you got bumped for Ricky Berwick, I wouldn't be complaining.
I did, legitimately. I'm pretty sure I told this story on the show.
I think you might have, yeah.
Yeah, when I went to London one year, I was the only YouTuber there, and they treated me like a freaking real celebrity, and it gave me a huge swelled ego. And then the next year, it's like, oh, hey, here's your table across from the bathroom. Yeah, Ricky's in your old place. I'm like, okay. Okay. In fairness, the dude had like posters and art and like a ton of merchandise and everything. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, that guy's on a whole nother level, that Ricky Berwick guy.
Oh, he is.
Dude's on a whole fucking other level. It's like, I want to be mad. I want to have like YouTuber envy, but like, I just can't do it. He just wanted it more. He came prepared. That motherfucker came prepared. But yeah, so there's your convention news, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you live in North America, this will end up affecting you, or maybe it won't, because maybe we still won't be able to fucking go to cons next year. Yeah. I know there's been more this year in the United States, all over like the South and everything. I see, guys like Ming from Comic Book Man and all those wrestlers I follow, they're doing con shows.
Man, I know those sort of people kind of have to do that because that's like their bread and butter and everything. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be going to a con. I wouldn't be going like in a 10-mile radius of a con. Like during a fucking pandemic. No fucking way. Masks, and even if they had masks on, I still wouldn't go.
You wouldn't be able to enjoy it, is what it is. And I think a lot of these places have vaccine mandates where it's like, look, you still got to wear masks and you got to show that you're double vaxxed and everything, even to get in the building. But again, it's the same reason why I haven't done anything all this summer, even though I could. I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself. I'd either be worrying about it. I'd be worrying like, oh, is my mask on right? Is like, oh, did I breathe that guy's air? Am I too close to that guy's air? So I do believe scientifically, if you're outside, it's actually better than if you're inside a building and everything. There's more. It's about like ventilation and shit as much as it is staying 6 feet away and everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. They tried to put cons outside, but no one wanted to go to them because all the people that go to cons never go outside.
Yeah, and it's hot because it's summertime, and fuck that. I think we had it was like 31 here a couple days ago, and it was the hottest day of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's been a pretty wet summer is the other thing here in Ontario. It's been really wet. It's been like raining every other day.
It's humid, yeah.
Yeah, so it gets like really gross and humid. Then it gets really hot. Then the rain happens and it cools down a little bit. Like I have the windows open right now because it's only like, 16?
Mm-hmm.
Again, our American listeners are like, what the fuck are they talking about? 16? What is that? What is anything?
We're civilized. We use Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
Yes, we're on a completely different system here, America. Come join us. Come join every other country in our units of measurement. No, please, it would be so much easier if you did.
It would be.
Again, every time I try and explain it, I sound like a maniac. 16, is that high? Is that low? What is that? Also, too, as someone who frequents a lot of conventions, I do the Purell thing and everything else, and I still usually come back sick from a convention. Con crud is a thing.
Yeah, that's stronger than COVID.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Masks won't protect you. It melts through the mask.
From the con crud, it's too. The goggles do nothing. Because, yeah, you're standing, shoulder to shoulder with that guy in his Hawaiian shirt and My Little Pony Crocs.
Yep. And he
Who
hasn't
knows
showered
what
for
he's...
5 days.
Yeah, who knows what that guy's got. Man, there was one guy, again, last time I was at London, and, like, you could tell this guy was a little neurodivergent, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I work online. I'm used to dealing with people like this. They're usually cool and harmless. This guy, I shit you not, had 3 belts on. One going one way, one going the other way.
Gotta hold up that massive dick.
Gotta hold it up. Ain't nothing getting at that guy's massive dick. And he had like a grocery bag filled with electronics, and I'm like, is he selling that? Does he have a thing, or does he just walks around with that?
He just walks around offering people random electronics that he just found.
Oh, you see, that's to keep the aliens out of his brain, I guess. And I mean, it must be working because the aliens aren't in my brain. So good on you, Triple Belt Man. Look, you see, the aliens, they come into our pants. Is the thing. That's why I need 3 belts and the
they come into our
electronics.
pants and take your dicks. And...
Not on my watch. Not on this guy's watch. The fact that I'm still thinking about that guy all this time later, and that guy
he made an impression.
He really did. And that guy was talking to me at my table, and I was trying to tell him what I do. And when he walked away, how much money you bet that guy thought I was the crazy one? He talks into a
He's
microphone.
gone on to his own podcast to talk about this random Canadian fella he found. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. It was so fucking weird.
Talks into a microphone about Comics Weekly, and they gave
something
him a
about the
table for that?
multiverse or something. I don't fucking know what he was on about.
Multiversal merge? Are you for real? That guy was crazy. He didn't have 3 belts or any electronics. The aliens are going to be all at him. You gotta be safe. Yeah, Triple Belt Man, the great new character of the comic multiverse. The patron saint.
His slogan is no alien is stealing my dick.
No alien stealing my dick. Oh, I wonder where he is now. I hope he's all right, Triple Belt Man. Oh, God, the back of my head hurts from laughing. And with that, we come to the big story from this week, the one that I'm sure everyone is chomping at the bit to hear us talk about. Robin Tim Drake. In the pages of Batman Urban Legends, was it number 5?
Yes.
I dropped off reading this book so long ago, so when this actually became a big piece of news, I'm like, fuck, you can actually make me go back and read this now. Came out as bisexual in the pages of this story. I say that, and the company is going with it. Really, just some cute guy said, hey, you want to go on a date? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Is that... I guess that's confirmation. I mean, they haven't officially announced it, have they?
No, well, they have. They're like, oh, yes, he's bisexual now. I'm like, it sounds more bi-curious to me, but I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, let us not forget at the end of Tynion's run, who was a bisexual man himself, Tim Drake was off to college. He just ended up not going to college.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If he went to college, would have handled all of that, experimental phase. You would have gotten it all out there. He didn't get to go to college, so now this is the only way that he can experiment.
Yeah. Do you think maybe they worded it like that just so they could gauge the response and be like, okay, people want him to be bi, so we'll do that?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a thing. But I also think it's a shooting fish in a barrel thing. I'm like, yeah, of course they would want Robin to be bisexual. Of course they like Tim. Everyone loves Tim already. It would just give people more reason to like Tim.
Yeah.
I was really proud of my tweet that I wrote there being like, Tim Drake, hey, I think I like girls and guys now. Girls and guys, we always liked you, Tim. Because everyone likes him.
Yeah, everyone likes him, yeah.
Everyone likes Tim. It's just more love in the Batman universe. And, of course, your regular mouth-breathing comic homophobes thought the sky was falling and that this was the end of Western civilization, as they always do.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people say, oh, this is what's killing the comic industry. And I quickly posted them a bunch of articles that say, like, comic industry is actually up this year and made billions of dollars. And, of course, I got no response.
Yeah, no, it's the end of it because I don't like it because I'm a homophobe and I can't say I'm a homophobe. Yeah. I need to find business reasons to explain why I don't like this to, protect myself.
Yeah, so I only like my frog comics.
Yeah, there you go. Is the chat saying Tim gets more than Batman? Officially now. Yes.
He's getting the best of both worlds.
Best
Now.
of both. What did someone say? Being like, man, first Harley and Ivy were finally allowed to be out and be a couple and everything. How great is the Pride Parade gonna be in Gotham this year?
It's gonna be goddamn everyone.
It's gonna be a fucking party there. Does Tim get to ride on the Harley and Ivy float, or does he have his own float?
They have was it like levels? You know how the floats have like levels?
There you go. You know what it is? He gets that, and then behind him is the Midnighter and Apollo there, and they're all dressed in their leather gear and everything. Hey, good to see you, Tim. And as soon as he walks away, Apollo's like, knew it, you owe me $5. Fuck it. God damn it. Your gaydar is better than mine, man. But yeah, again, I have no fucking problem with this. What I do have a minor problem with is like, okay, you did this. Why is there no Tim Drake book that I can read his further adventures about this now? Because at least, when they canonized Alan Scott as being a gay man from Earth 2, at least they're like, no, you can continue to read his adventures in the Pride book and in Infinite Frontier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I thought like that Robin and Batman book was going to be about Tim, because it came out like around the same time.
It should have been.
Yeah, I guess maybe in that Robin's book, I guess maybe wherever Tim is going to appear. But yeah, he should, this should be something he should have a book to deal with.
To explore it.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? I think this is DC testing the waters with urban legends as like an on-running thing where it's like, okay, so people, maybe they didn't go crazy for that Zdarsky Red Hood story like we thought they would. Maybe we need another thing, like a story that's big enough and interesting enough that people are going to come back and read what is a fucking Gotham Anthology book every month.
Yeah.
That's what it really seems like. Also, the chat saying apparently him and Steph broke up off panel, really?
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't particularly like about this. I'm like, oh, so he comes out as gay and he immediately breaks up with his girlfriend off panel. I'm like, I mean, you didn't need to do that. You could have had like a cool story about them where they don't break up, but they explore other options.
Where she's like, look, it's unfair to Steph because Steph has always been getting fucking stepped on. Yeah. Where it's like, look, I love and respect you, and I think you should be allowed to go and explore your sexuality, and I think our relationship is strong enough that we'll come out the other side of that, or they become the first polyamorous superhero couple of DC Comics. Again, there's a lot of places you could go with it. If it was ever going to be any Robin, yeah, it makes sense that it's Tim.
Yeah. Can't see any of the other Robins doing this, yeah.
No, as a lot of people were very quick to bring up, it's like, hey, remember when Connor died and how sad he was and he slept in his shirt and everything too, where it's like, that seems a little bit more than friendship. So maybe other writers have been planting seeds this whole time.
Yeah, I think as other people said, it's kind of been obvious for a little bit.
Yeah. Which, again, too, and people bring up the Iceman comparison where it's like, oh, well, this is like the Iceman thing. And, now that they've done it, they can never undo it. I'm like, well, yeah, why would they want to undo it after they've done it? You can't put that back in the bottle. And also, when that happened for Iceman, his mini solo series ran longer than any Iceman series ever before it did. So
people also forget that the Iceman thing was kind of like not his own doing. Because remember, it was Jean Grey kind of outed him. It was really kind of gross.
Yeah, they handled
Jean
that
Grey
one
just
pretty
kind
poorly.
of outed him, and he just had to sort of deal with it because he was the past version, which hadn't got there yet. It was very strange.
That was a weird one. Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot that the fucking Jean Grey psychic angle of that. Yeah, this is why actual queer people worry when comics try and tackle queer topics, because they do shit like that where it's like, why? Yeah, why? Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I know some people too, even because I follow a lot of queer writers and creators because I always like to get different insights that aren't my own. And someone actually brought up an interesting comparison to manga where they're like, yeah, if I want to read queer boy love stories. There's like a whole genre in it for manga. Meanwhile, here's, you know, traditional American comics being like, but what if bi maybe at the end of the story? Is that anything? Is that anything for you? Do you like this? Is that something? And they're like, guys, either do it or don't. Don't like pussyfoot around it. Don't dip your toes into it. It either is or it isn't.
Well, this is DC. This is the company that has a label for adult only books that aren't adult only.
Tell me about it.
They're clutching their pearls at Batman's dick.
For real. Oh, here's a good one from the chat. Aren't Iceman and Red Robin related? They both have the same last name. Can of Coke for you, sir. Can of Coke. So that's a thing. So there you go. There's what is it? There's your big Robin news, which really isn't a big fucking deal at all.
No, people make it out to be a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal for people who's now representing, but like as well, it's like they're just telling human stories, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, why can't Tim like girls and guys? Why not?
Exactly.
And I'm sure some homophobes will be like, well, because there was never any evidence, and, you know, they never did it in the 30-plus years.
But post the Young Justice articles. Post them.
Yeah, to which, again, I'm like, hey, man, sounds like you never had anyone come out of the closet in your life personally, because here's the thing about coming out of the closet. Sometimes it's surprising to people, and some people are like, oh, I had no idea. That's how it actually fucking works in real life.
Yeah.
And here's hoping if you did actually have a person come out in real life to you, you'd be able to handle it a little better than this goddamn fictional comic character.
Yeah.
Also, give Tim a book. That's my big takeaway from this.
Give him a book.
If you're going to do this big thing, then at least give him a fucking book
it really
to go
felt
on.
like there for like a hot minute that like he would be getting one, especially like, you know, like at the start of Rebirth where he was like part of before that when he was part of that whole
Detective Comics
the
team.
whole Jor-El stuff, and
that's
like
right.
he got like captured by Jor-El, and like it felt like, oh, we're gonna be getting like a book, and he's gonna like go off into the universe and like sort of sort that out. Remember, he got like that was like the whole genesis of like Young Justice and everything,
and then it never happened. You're right, man. That's funny too, because I'm always thinking like, oh well, Tynion did such a good job with him as part of his Detective Comics team. Like he was in the first arc, and then he got kidnapped by Mr. Oz and was like gone for the whole middle half of that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC, even with DiDio gone, has such a weird relationship with Tim Drake.
Yeah, mate. You know, do you think maybe this is just like holdover from it? Like they've still got stuff with DiDio going or something, or like contracts or something. I don't know how it works.
Very, very weird. Very weird. But yeah, there's the piece of news that's not a big piece of news at all, but people treat it like it is.
Yeah.
And the fact is, people got to stop treating it like that if we ever want to fucking get anywhere. Can just once can this happen? Can people be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, called it, moving on.
Yeah, it doesn't always need to be a conversation. Sometimes it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Jace Jensen again. So will Tim Drake be the one always getting hit on instead of Dick? Now he will be, yes. This is all part of Tim's plan to supersede Dick. Now I'm everyone's favorite.
Khalil, no, Jor-El, or the Mr. Oz version of Jor-El is not alive. They sent him back to Krypton to die.
Oh, yeah, he did die.
Yeah, that was a fucking great scene as well, that.
Oh, we got a crybaby in the chat, too, saying they're unsubscribing.
Oh, well.
Crybaby alert, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I mean, if you weren't a homophobe, that wouldn't bother you. But that seems to bother you, which makes me think you're a homophobe, so fuck off.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, so we're ready to talk about what we read this week. I feel like this is the longest news segment we've done in a long time.
It is, yeah.
All right, where would we like to begin with what we read this week?
We'll start with Infinite Frontier, issue 4.
Yes, Infinite Frontier. A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, we're almost over this series. There's 2 more issues left.
Yeah, this one came out really quickly.
Yeah, it's almost like bi-weekly or something.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they had a lot of big stuff going on here. And again, so many different stories happening at once.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah, so where do we start on this? We got an awesome World's Finest team up between Flashpoint, Batman, and Calvin Ellis, President Superman, which is something I'd love to see like continue as like that's the new Batman Superman book.
They're such an odd couple, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great. I love them. I like the dichotomy between them. They both don't have families, but they do have families, but they can't be with those families because of like their jobs.
Yeah, it's very interesting dichotomy between them. I like that a Batman wore a white suit.
Yeah, white and red. It looked really great
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah, real interesting. They're trying to track down more information about the arcs, and that leads them to Calvin's own version of Luthor, who was experimenting with it.
Yeah, he's trying to hop into the multiverse, but every time he tried it, he failed. But maybe this time someone helped him out and gave him the cheat codes, gave him the Konami code.
And then killed him.
Yeah, they had him design all of the ships, and then he was killed. I have to assume he was killed probably by the villain who's revealed later on in this book.
Yeah, because this is a whole big multiversal conspiracy that we finally start to see all the connective tissue on it and everything.
Yeah, on top of that, we also get to check in with Bones and Cameron Chase. Cameron Chase, who survived the explosion of Captain Atom thanks to extract.
Yeah, so is still a mystery character.
Yeah.
I like that. She has a do you think she's going to be someone? I think she might be someone.
I think she might be someone, and Bones kind of alluded to like her origins and stuff, where it's like it's kind of implied she maybe came from a world that died.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe she's Cameron Chase from another world.
Ooh, maybe. And maybe she was from a world that died in like death metal that never got brought back, and we'll get to that near the end as well, because there's other characters that came back who actually have versions of themselves now that are different versions of themselves.
Chase actually does a really good job taking point on this issue where it's like, hey, Mr. Bones, you won't tell me what's going on here, so I'm going to shoot you in the leg, and we're both going to go and see where all of this ends up.
I got to force your hand.
Bones actually gets a really good monologue in here about, like, the biggest threat to the Earth as it stands right now is multiversal incursions and multiversal threats, and the superheroes have done nothing to stop it, and so we have to take matters into our own hands, and we get to see, like, all the perpetrators of all the crises.
Yeah, Infinite Crisis, 0 Hour, Convergence, Telos is there.
Oh, yeah, Telos got a moment. Good for him.
Pandora is there. Dr. Manhattan's there.
Yeah, that's crazy that they can still reference Manhattan.
Yeah, that's great.
They did that. That was fun. We get to see more of Infinity Inc. and Jade now that we know what happened with her, what her kidnapping was.
Yeah, Extract tried to kidnap her, and thanks to the Star Heart, she was like teleported somewhere into the bleed.
Yeah, where all of these characters are now set up. And I love that they actually call back on Jade and Roy's time in Winnick's Outsiders.
Yeah, and the Titans. Yeah.
I thought that was a very nice touch. I haven't read the other history of the DC universe yet, but they actually reference that team as well in that book. I'm like, holy shit, someone's remembering Winnick's time.
It's all coming together. Well, again, like all these issues have been like Joshua Williamson flexing his like DC universe knowledge. There's all like these little parts like connected up to like Crisis of Infinite Earths, with the Flash running on that treadmill thing like he did in Crisis of Infinite Earths and everything, and all that sort of stuff. There's the stuff with Psycho Pirate and all that. Yeah,
it's really nice how they start tying all of these different things together and the arcs and where it's all going.
Yeah, and so like all the stories start to sort of converge, and we kind of find out who. He's not the main villain of the book, but he is one of the main villains, and it's Tony Stark.
Machine Head, who I totally forgot that he's supposed to be an Iron Man pastiche from an Avengers-styled world.
Yeah. He even talks about it, how like his world was invaded by an alternate reality of theirs, and they started the Secret Wars and all that. And it's like he's talking about the Ultimate Universe invading the 616 universe.
That was his origin. I'm like, fuck me, he actually remembered that. Holy shit, that's a good reason to be evil, and also to start up the Injustice League Incarnate.
Yeah, and the makeup of this team is very interesting, because we've got Superwoman from Earth 3, but the former Earth 3, where this Superwoman was Lois Lane.
Yes, which is crazy. We got a Yellow Lantern Joker. We got a shitty 90s version of Dr. Fate, where he's the guy with the...
He's just called Fate.
Fate with the Ankh tattoo, and I'm like, oh look, someone remembered that guy.
Yeah, the Joker Sinestro, I think, is from the story where Batman becomes a Green Lantern.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
Yeah, who that character, that Batman Green Lantern, was recently in the Grant Morrison Green Lantern run.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's all coming together.
They're all somebody.
Who else was on the team? Oh, Super Doom.
Yes.
The one from Earth 32, I think, from, again, Grant Morrison's New 52 run, where that character is like the manifestation of like corporate greed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's really fucking messed up stuff. Yeah. Again, total Grant Morrison stuff.
Absolutely. I like it. I like it even more now that I know that they're all from places and they're not just new creations.
Oh no, they're all from places. I think one was Quark as well.
Yeah,
Lady Quark. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandship Frontier continues to be great. Looks like it's building up to one hell of a finale too.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I want to see more Darkseid though, because he's kind of been this. I guess it makes sense. He's kind of like this overarching, looming threat, because now he's no longer. He's like a literal god of the universe, sort of thing.
Yeah,
he's not something you could just fist fight.
I think they're going to defeat Psycho Pirate at the end of this, but they're not going to defeat Darkseid because he's got to be the next big event bad guy. We got to keep moving that.
Yeah.
At this point, the heroes will find out, like, oh no, Darkseid got reset too, and now he's, like, more powerful than he's ever been before.
Yeah, he's all versions of Darkseid in one.
Yeah, oh no. Yeah. And then that'll be the next big event that Josh Williamson will no doubt end up writing.
Yeah, through Justice Incarnate and all that sort of stuff.
Yep. So that was pretty good. I think we all agree we like that one.
It was pretty damn good.
I'm always surprised when I read it, where it's like, damn, all of this should be an incomprehensible mess, but it's not.
I know. The amount of sense it makes. It's like you compare it to something like Final Crisis by like Grant Morrison and stuff like that, and it's like that's just like a Scottish man yelling at me.
Or even Dark Knight's Metal too.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you're taking so long to explain this, you don't care if I'm having fun. This, you're explaining stuff and it's fun.
Yeah.
Another book I had this week. We did a DC, so we should do a Marvel. I read the first Defenders this week.
The Defenders. Oh, I haven't read this one yet.
Al Ewing's Defenders. It's a lot of setup. You don't miss much. Basically, it's, hey, the Masked Raider shows up on Doctor Strange's porch. It's like, remember me? I was important like 2 years ago.
Again, more setup. We had like 2 years of setup for this.
Well, don't worry. They do that, and then they're like finally done with it. Doctor Strange knows everything about it. It's like, oh yeah, the mask. It's from Eternity. There's been other guys who have worn the mask, and the Enclave. No, not the Fallout Enclave, but they're also evil scientists, so like not far off from that Enclave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you hunted them all down and everything. And actually, hey, Iron Man connection. When Masked Raider went to kill Zota, the final leader of the Enclave, there he couldn't because Korvac got made by the same time and left. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Matt will appreciate that. And
Nice.
Masked Raider couldn't kill Zota because he traveled in time, but not regular time travel, magic time travel. It's different.
Ooh.
It's very different, and he needs Doctor Strange's help to stop this guy from fucking with history. And Strange is like, no, I'll let the tarot cards decide who will join our Defenders team. Hey, look, it's Silver Surfer. You were on the team before. Sup, bud? Hey, it's Betty Ross, the Red Harpy, and a carryover from Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk. Good to see you. And then who's the last member that he gets on the team? Oh, the last member is Cloud the Living Nebula.
Okay.
Who's a really fucking weird, like, Busick character from the 70s.
Okay.
Who, like, they have male and female forms, and, like, they almost blow up the entire Sanctum Sanctorum when they're summoned. So to deal with that, and this is where shit gets really weird, Doctor Strange has to sacrifice his ego, which is just a fancy way of saying we're changing how magic works in the Marvel Universe again.
Oh, god damn it.
It's back to no rules. Remember all those rules Jason Aaron created? Yeah, well, we're done with those.
Yeah, Jason Aaron, Mark Waid, and all that created.
Yeah, because Al Ewing just wants to do crazy, trippy blacklight poster stuff now, so Doctor Strange is back to his old powers of being able to do anything and everything.
Fine, whatever.
Sure, whatever. It's all good. When it ends, too, they find themselves on planet Ta, far in the past, and Ta is, of course, the place where Galen came from before he became Galactus. And they're so far into the past, they actually run into Galactus's mom.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Tartu
Tatu.
is a big Tartu is a big factor in the Iron Man book at the moment.
Oh, is it? Well, then you'll love this Defenders book because there's a shit ton of connection.
Nice.
Between the two, and I'm like, oh, this is a fun set, and it's only a mini. I thought it was an ongoing, but it's actually only a mini.
Okay.
Which, that's all right. I guess, Al Ewing can't completely reinvent time the same way he invented God and the devil and, space and everything else that he's been doing.
Yeah, he's a busy man. He's a busy man
Very.
At the moment. He's doing all these other books as well. All these mutant books, most of the cosmic books.
Mm-hmm. I like to imagine this magic time travel thing. Oh, I just do this for fun.
Yeah.
This is just me doodling. They took my doodles and turned it into a series. And it could still be one of the best minis. What else did you have?
Well, I'll stay with Al Ewing. I had the first two parts of Last Annihilation with Guardians of the Galaxy issue 16 and Sword issue 7.
I imagine a lot of shit went down there.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Dormammu obviously got birth from Ego's shell, and he spits forth like armies of mindless ones that begin attacking key worlds, two of which are Spartax, three of which, Spartax, Hala, and Skrullos. So the Guardians issue is the Guardians kind of scrambling in the chaos to try and get civilians out of the way of these armies, while Hulkling and Wiccan deal with the armies on Hala. But again, they bring in back the politics that Al Ewing brought into Empire, which is they're the Kree Skrull Empire. So it means they can't just focus on Hala. They've got to spread their forces thin towards Skrullos as well, so they can't seem to be playing favorites between the two races. So Wiccan is sent to Skrullos with the Accuser and all these other people to defend that world, and Hulkling is left to fight on his own with a small contingent of people on Hala, which means he then has to get Captain Glory out of prison.
Really?
Captain Glory was put in prison at the end of Empire for his betrayal. And then in Sword, Sword is alerted to like what's going on because they just recently did the Hellfire Gala, so like Peter and Richard and all that were there, so they get alerted to like what's happening, and Abigail Brand wants to get a jump on it. In classic, she wants to get a jump on it, like it's not said, but it's implied she wants to get a jump on it so they owe her a favor later on, because the mutants are buying up all these favors with the cosmic community. And a big focus of this issue is the Mysterium, that metal they found. Because Doctor Doom ends up having a diplomatic dinner with Storm, and he's like discussing it with her. And throughout the whole meeting, you can tell he is utterly enraged that they beat him to the punch. He is so angry that they beat him to the punch because he's like, magic is my thing. Like this metal, because he's got his mother's eyes. He can see that this metal reacts to magic, so he knows it's from the White Hot Room. And he knows it's magically imbued. Yeah, and it's funny because he's basically lecturing Storm and saying it's like, you guys don't know what you're dealing with. Magic has rules. If you do one metaphor or one incantation wrong, you'll fuck everything up and ruin the balance of everything. And he's like, but
mansplaining magic.
Yeah, it's like, but if you let me come into your like inner sanctum, I can show you what to do. And Storm's like, motherfucker, just like blows the table up with lightning. It's like, we know what the fuck we're doing. We don't need to be shown how to walk. We know how to fly.
Yeah, you're a goddamn supervillain. Get out of here with your crispy face.
Yeah. And the book ends with like Hala falling to the mindless ones, and Abigail Brand getting Hulkling and all that out of the area. And one of the things that the has been running through these books is Hulkling tried to contact Alpha Flight and the Avengers, but no one responded because Alpha Flight's being run by Henry Geigerich, who's like fucking against like everything and all that, but also like
hates the symbiote, hates the Hulk, hates the mutants.
But also Abigail Brand's kind of playing up the whole she's sort of like directing the narrative where it's like, oh yeah, those Avengers, they betrayed you. You can't trust them, but you can trust.
Really hates them.
You can trust the mutants. You can trust. We're good. You can trust the mutants. We're good.
That's funny because, as we know from reading appendices of other books, Gyrich is a member of Orchis.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
There's an illusion because obviously Scarlet Witch died at the Hellfire Gala. Wiccan's been trying to contact her, but he seemingly can't, and he's like, oh, maybe it's because Dormammu's blocking it with her magic, and Bran's like, yeah, that's why. Yes, that's why it's doing that. Yeah.
Callie said, I like Billy felt something is wrong with Wanda. Yeah, I guess that family connection. Yeah.
And he doesn't know what's going on yet.
That trial of Magneto actually comes out fairly soon.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks, so that one's coming right up.
Yeah.
So is that then?
That's that then, yeah. 2 very good issues.
Yeah, they sound really strong. Sounds like that's actually going to read really good in trade when everything is said and done.
Yeah, it's a quick series as well, I think. I think it's halfway point now. I think just this coming week is its halfway point, I think.
Right, yeah. What else did I have this week? I had the Joker.
Ooh, what's been going on with Jim Gordon and the Joker?
A lot's been going on. They're in Paris now.
Okay.
They're in Paris now. Jim doesn't know what to do with himself because the Joker's like, yeah, dummy, you stepped into a much bigger conspiracy. This isn't actually about me. This is about all these other groups jockeying for power and using me for an excuse. So he's actually like investigating the Santa Prisca guys, and he's investigating the Court of Owls, and he's investigating those weird Texas cannibals that are not the Chainsaw Massacre guys, but totally are.
Yeah.
we actually learned their origin. Their origin is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, like, we get to see a scene that could be from any Texas Chainsaw movie. It's the 70s. There's the last girl. She's running. All of her friends have been murdered by the Sampson family, not the Sawyer family. And she's like, oh, no. And they're chasing her and everything. And one of them pulls out, like, an old rifle and shoots at her. She gets away, but the bullet strikes oil.
Oh, okay.
So these cannibals who are like, oh, the police are coming. They're going to get you for all the murders. What murders?
Yeah, okay.
What cannibalism? You guys are billionaires now. You're job creators. Leave the job creators alone. Their oil company should be treated as a person. So I'm like, so this is how they're allowed to do cannibalism and murder because they're rich.
That's such an interesting thing. It's like, yeah, what would happen if, like, you know, Leatherface and his family just struck oil, like they become super rich, and they're just like super rich hillbilly cannibals.
Yeah,
that's so great. That's so great.
They're just allowed to do whatever they want now. And I'm like, fuck, I hate how much sense that makes. I hate how it's like, yeah, that's the problem with the Sawyer family. It's that they were dirt poor living in the backwoods. If they had oil money, they're a proud Southern lineage, you see.
They need to introduce like another member of the family, and it's literally just like Army Hammer.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Well, actually, the guy who Joker blew off his face and he needs to get it repaired, and of course he gets a slasher mask puts on. Yeah. He was a handsome-looking blonde guy who looked a lot like Armie Hammer. Actually, now that you mention it. So they're doing that. Gordon actually calls up Bullock, so Bullock gets to be involved in this story.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Gordon's like, I think all these different groups are watching me. I don't know if they're listening, but hey, I know Nakano fired you and you're probably sitting home alone drunk. How would you like to come work for me and be a private detective? And he's like, fuck yeah, Jim.
Well, that's what they wanted to do. That's what Bullock wanted. He's like, oh, you and me, Jim, we've been fired. We'll just get fucking drunk and be detectives.
Yep, and that's basically what he's going to do now. And
awesome.
I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I'm glad that Bullock got to be involved in this story. I miss him when he's not around.
Yeah.
The big finale is that Gordon actually ends up getting pinched by Interpol because the Joker framed him for a bunch of murders.
Oh, no.
Which is funny because the Joker's like, oh, you can solve it, Jim, because I know once you find out the truth, it's going to be more horrible than anything I ever did to you in Killing Joke, only to have the Joker be on top of building and be like, yeah, I wasn't going to make it easy, though. That's just not my character. I'm not going to make it easy. They love me in France. So yeah, Joker continues to be a lot of fun and very cool. Man, more than anything, I hope that story wraps up before Tynion goes away in November.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up on that book very soon. And like everything you've been telling me about this has been so good. And that's the one thing I was worried about when I heard this Tynion news. Oh, well, what about the Joker book? It's been so good.
Yeah, I hope the story actually gets to finish, and I hope when it's done, they let it be done and
just don't let it finish. Yeah, don't put another writer on the book, and it's just random Joker stories.
Yeah, because as it stands right now, this has been the best Jim Gordon story in a long time.
Yeah, it has been.
It's really solid. It's really that good, and I would hate to see that messed up in any way.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
I had Batman 89 issue 1.
Oh yes, I'm like 89. No, we're on 100. Whatever. No, 89. Right? Yeah, I saw this come out. The cover looked great, but I had too many books this week. How was it?
Oh, this is so good. It was just we're back in Tim Burton's Batman universe. This takes place after Batman 89. It doesn't take place after Batman Returns, so that's technically not canon or hasn't happened yet.
Ooh, I wondered about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because this issue is written by the same guy who wrote that film.
Shit.
Sam Hamm, who's written Batman comics before as well, and apparently really good ones. He wrote what was that one? I'm blanking on its name. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me. But yeah, this one is pretty good. It picks up sometime after the events of Batman 89, and the Joker's it's near Halloween, and Harvey Dent, who's literally just Billy D. Williams, is romancing Barbara Gordon.
Ooh.
And he's about to propose to her when the Joker gang attack, and they attack all over town and try to like steal a bunch of like armored cars filled with money with like a chopper, like take them off the highway and stuff. Batman obviously puts a stop to that and like crashes their helicopters and stuff like that. And Harvey's not too happy about Batman doing all this stuff because he's just causing damage and choppers hitting buildings and all this crap. But not only that, like he knows it's not safe for people to like. It's all good while he stops all that stuff, but there's still crime down on the ground. Like him and Barbara head home, and he ends up getting mugged, and it's like he's just Billy D. Williams because he beats the fuck out of criminals, and he's got his coin, and he's like holding them with a gun, and he's gonna flip the coin for like heads you die, tails you don't. But like because it's still Harvey Dent, he just fires the gun in the air, and they're trying to like sort out crime, and so Harvey goes to Bruce Wayne and asks for his backing because Bruce Wayne is the first son of Gotham and all that sort of stuff. He wants his backing to take down not just Batman but also Jim Gordon. Because and in a nice, really great bit of like expanding on the character, because the Jim Gordon in those films, he didn't exist. He basically didn't exist. So they're expanding on that character where like, okay, he was basically using Batman as like to mop up his problems basically, and like just deal with anything. And Harvey thinks that like Batman is more than one person because no one person could do all this sort of stuff. So he thinks Batman is like Jim Gordon's like personal hit squad. And so he wants to clean that all up. And
how very dirty Harry.
And Bruce is all for this and everything, of course, but then obviously as Batman, like he doesn't want to go against Jim because Jim was the responding officer to his family's murder, and he doesn't want to go against Jim because he knows Jim is a good cop. He's just given a really shitty situation being the commissioner of Gotham. So the book ends with them sort of voting him out of office, basically.
Oh wow!
So Batman's sort of left like on his own, and to make matters worse, there's another vigilante running around town, and we don't see who it is, but it's very clearly Robin.
Yes, the Damon Wayans version.
Yeah. Who I like. I don't know whether it's going to be Dick or whether it's Tim Drake. I'm not sure who, because we're not told who they are. We just see them at the end where they like they end up stopping Batman from like stopping this man from like taking food from a shop to feed his child.
I like that Robin's costume.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It is. It's a cool effect, which I think that's based on like old designs for like what the movie was going to be.
Yeah, because he was meant to be in the second film.
They made action figures.
Yeah, they made action figures. They cast it was Damon Wayans, wasn't it?
One of the Wayans. There's so many Wayans, it's hard to keep track.
It was one of them.
And they all have kids. Also, thank you, Felipe, for the subscription. I just didn't want to cut Matt off because he was on a roll.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this first issue was so damn good, and it's only a 6-issue miniseries, so I really hope they do more.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that they're expanding on these characters that you see in the movie for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like making Jim Gordon different compared to what he is in the actual main continuity.
I like that it sounds like Billy D. Williams is going to actually get to finally be Two-Face.
Yeah, he's gonna get turned into it. We've seen him on some covers and stuff. Yeah,
And it's a cool design.
yeah.
I guess, from what is it, Batman to Red Batman, as Chip Zdarsky calls him. I had Daredevil 33 this week.
Oh, what's been going on with Daredevil?
Oh, another banger. They're all
Of
just
course.
tops. It's all just tops, and this one is no different. They explain why there's multiple bullseyes running around.
Okay.
Within the first couple pages, and that is basically Fisk. Spent his money very poorly on his scientist squad to try and turn Bullseye into a weapon he could control. And because like a couple weeks in, the scientists are like, well, shit, we can't condition Bullseye's brain. He's way too violent and volatile and crazy. What are we going to do? I guess we could take the money he's given us and try and clone a new Bullseye that we could control.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that a couple times, and the real Bullseye wakes up in his like hyperbolic time chamber and breaks out and kills all the doctors. Like, oh, I have a clone army now. Cool. And I'm like, that sounds about right. That's how it would work. And poor Elektra's like, fuck me, it was going to be hard to fight one of these guys. Now I'm fighting like 6 of them at once. I have to do something that really disagrees with me. I have to ask the Avengers for help.
Ew.
I know, but she does it in the funniest way. She's like, okay, so Bullseye's been running around, been using silence to his best effect. Okay, I took a gun from him. I'm going to shoot it up in the air. So Spider-Man and Iron Man will have to come and help me. And they do, and Elektra's like, shit, this really disagrees with my character and everything, but hey, Iron Man, you're an inventor, right? You're a problem solver. Build me a Bullseye killing machine, please. One Bullseye killing machine. Whatever that is. And, while that's going on, we see, Cole North, the detective there, the prison that Madden has fallen and the inmates have all taken it over and everything. And he's like, shit, what am I going to do? Oh, well, the inmates are saying they're only going to talk to you, the man who arrested Daredevil. Well, shit, I guess I got to go in there and make sure Matt's okay. He goes in there and it's totally fucking apocalypse now. Matt's not a prisoner of the riot. I'm leading the riot. And it's like, well, how did that happen? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to find out next time.
Awesome.
It's really good. It continues to be great. Chip Zdarsky from strength to strength.
Awesome. That sounds great.
It is. It really is.
Cool. Well, I had an Avengers book. I don't know whether you covered it yet, but I had Avengers Tekon.
Oh, the new Jim's Mecha one. No, I didn't, but it looked good.
Oh man, this is Super Sentai Avengers basically.
Fuck yeah.
The book starts off with the Avengers having defeated Thanos, destroying the Infinity Stones, and they're like having like a memorial sort of dedication to the people that fell during that battle. And that's when Red Skull attacks, and Red Skull got his whole Lord Zed fucking Toku Setsai armor on. And as we find out, he while the stones don't exist, like shards and like the dust from them do, and he spent some time collecting them, and he's forged them into these like mirror shards, which are powering his armor. So while he can't wipe out the universe, he can like still like do minor things, and one of those things is he takes every hero on Earth's powers.
Oh no.
So like the Thing turns back into a human, Storm can't use her powers, Spider-Man is without any of his spider sense, Captain America shrinks back down into a small Steve Rogers. All that.
So we have justification as why they need cool anime suits. They just don't get them because
the Avengers are attacked. Black Panther ends up saving everyone because he's got the tech and he is a proficient fighter. We also like Jim Zub also like goes a little bit extra and so like, oh well, like all these people have like losing their powers, but like what would actually happen to some of these people if they do lose their powers? And like he does that with like Wolverine, or it's like, well, he lost his healing factor, but he's still got all this like indestructible metal in his bones, so like he can't function properly and he has to be put in like a coma, and like
they poison him.
They're talking about removing the adamantium, otherwise it'll kill him and everything. Tony's like Tony and Spider-Man try and like sort of figure out a way to allow them a fighting chance against the Red Skull, while Steve, still in his little manlet form, still wants to go fight Red Skull and everything. So he and Carol Danvers lead like a little task force to Tokyo, where he's hiding out.
Of course.
And like confront him, and they're gonna lose the battle.
He's at the Sega store.
Yeah, he's at the in Akihabara. Yeah.
Freaking Red Skull loves Harajuku.
Yeah, he's gonna fight him on top of the Sega store in downtown Tokyo.
Step 1 is we steal all the green tea Kit Kats.
And they're fighting and everything, and before they can be killed, Iron Man arrives with like their new armors and like armors them all up, and it's completely over the top, and yeah, it's just great.
That sounds super dope. That sounds like something I would very much be into.
Yeah, and yeah, the art by Jeffrey Cruz, it looks exactly like an anime, like manga. It's so bright and colorful, and yeah, this looks great.
It's one of my Japanese animes.
Yeah.
I like it. I like everything about it. I will have to read that now.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fast read as well.
It's been a while since I've actually read something by Zub, which I know is weird to say because he's been on the show a bunch and we like him a whole bunch.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes. I'll have to make that a thing that I will read and I will enjoy.
Yeah, it was great.
What else was this week? Detective Comics 1041. This story has overstayed its welcome, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I kind of felt that like it should have ended maybe 2 issues ago.
Yeah, I'm sick of Mr. Vile and Mr. Worth now and all the Mr. characters.
Yeah, I just don't understand why, like it wasn't last issue, it was the issue before that, where like, we're suddenly getting like a backstory on Mr. Vile, but it's not really a backstory because we're not going to tell you about the parasite and whatnot.
No.
We're just going to say he had it.
It's really weird. It gets even crazier too, because it's like, come on guys, you're actually repeating yourself now. Because when this series started, Batman, I have no money, I have no mansion. Oh no, now I have no brownstone and no money, but you already did before. Oh well, I'm being suspected of the murder of Sarah Worth. Oh well, I've cleared my name, but Mr. Worth doesn't care and he's still trying to kill me anyway, so it's like I didn't. And I'm like, okay, you're repeating stuff now.
Yeah, so it's like none of this really kind of mattered.
No, in the long run, which is a shame. Penguin is here too. Penguin had a fun backup, but Penguin is playing second fiddle to Worth.
Yeah, he's like the guy, like he's like the middleman between. He's like the recruitment agent for him.
Yeah.
Like, here, take all my men. I'll like hire them out for you for like the day.
Yeah, that's a weird place for him to be. Also, there's like some new lady leader of the Falcones. I'm like, when did that happen? Did I miss that? What book was that in?
Yeah, when did that happen? Because aren't the Falcones also in Nightwing?
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, that's where the guys went. So I'm guessing, is she like a daughter or a niece who's running stuff?
Another daughter or niece. God damn it!
just what we need, right? More fucking mafia kids there. But believe it, the backup story was much more different. Was much more interesting with Deb Donovan setting up Task Force Zed, the zombie book.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, she's investigating a bunch of villains who are dead. Where it's like, oh, Bane's fucking dead. Look at his body in the morgue. Oh, hey, fucking Man-Bat's dead. Look at his body in the morgue. What do you mean a body's missing? Hope it's not a zombie.
How's Man-Bat dead? He's in Justice League Dark helping Dr. Fate with his helmet.
Oh, you didn't read the last Detective Comics backup story.
I'm like an issue behind, yeah.
They kill him in a backup. They devote a whole story to him so they can kill him so he can be a zombie for Task Force Zed.
Okay.
George G, have you guys heard about Transformer Shattered Glass Mini that's coming out soon? It's supposed to be like Earth 3. I have not. I don't know that much about the Transformers books. I know the people who love them a lot, though.
Well, like evil crime syndicate Transformers, so like an evil Optimus Prime sort of thing.
I'm Optimus Negative now. Subprime.
I want to say that's an actual thing, though.
It's gotta be. That's the thing with Transformers. It's been going for so long. There has to be one of those.
Yeah.
The only other noteworthy thing about that backup is that Red Hood's there at the end because he's going to be the star of Task Force X. And oh, look, I'm wearing my old costume again.
No, okay.
I decided to ditch the Scott Lobdell costume, and everyone's a lot happier about it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the only thing that mattered.
And Batman got his old costume, didn't he?
Yeah, because they blew up his house and all of his shit, so Oracle had to point him towards like a cache of stuff. He's like, "Oh, look, my blue suit. I had it in a flashback last issue, but now I'm just wearing it."
People liked it in that last issue, so this is what we're doing going forward.
It's a good suit. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I'm sure I've said this on another episode, but if I had my way, he wears the black suit in Batman. He wears the blue suit in Detective. Don't ask how and why.
Yeah, yeah. He wears like the big yellow one. Yep.
He just does.
Yep.
He just does it. They're two equally good suits. We should have them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was Detective. It's losing me. I'm not gonna lie. It needs to be shaken up very
It
soon.
feels like it feels. Oh, I think Fear State might do that. Like they probably like feels like they were treading water till Fear State.
Maybe it's one of those weird things where it's like, hey, your backup stories need to set up Task Force Z, and you also need to wait for Fear State, so don't start nothing new.
Yeah.
Which sucks. That feels like the sort of mandate that would make someone leave for Substack. What do you mean I gotta pull out this story longer than intended? Okay. I had two last ones. What about you?
Cool. I had Justice League Last Ride.
I had this too. This was one of my last two.
Yeah, this was a good issue. This kind of explained all about how Martian Manhunter died.
Yeah, this one really heated up. The issue before this was kind of like slow and ponderous and a mood piece. This one like actually kicked in the turbos pretty hard.
Yeah, so we learn Martian Manhunter had to like stop Apocalypse from basically being alive. He kind of had to kill a planet to stop all the boom nukes from teleporting into Earth and destroying everything, and to do that he had to like go to the core and like vent the core, which meant fire, which is obviously his weakness. And
the planet core.
Wonder Woman couldn't do it because she's too injured, and Superman was too far away, but Superman still wanted to do it because he's Superman and wants to do everything.
Yeah, he abandoned Green Lantern in the middle of that fight with Darkseid, which only strengthens my theory that Hal and the Core are actually the secret villains of this story.
So, I think that'd be good, but the thing is, like, they mentioned later on in the book that the United Planets and Hal protected New Genesis and the New Gods, but the New Gods were murdered. That's like how all this began.
Somebody's lying. Either the United Nations of Planets is lying or the Core is lying.
Yeah.
And in fact, Lobo gets fucking really Hannibal Lecter this issue, getting inside everyone's heads and being like, hey, I'm just a bounty hunter, I just get paid to kill people, but who's really responsible? Me for pulling the trigger or the person for putting money in my wallet? Well, I guess it's like you, Superman. Does, the person who give the order responsible for the death? And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, he's fucking with all their heads.
Very much, which is a side of Lobo you never see. You never see him as like a mental chess player guy.
Yeah, it kind of gives him like a little bit more, like he's not just a little bit more depth. He's not just like some big lughead who just like hits things really hard. He can fuck with your mind as well, and make you start believing things that are maybe not true. But again, even like Superman starts believing him because he's like, yeah, well, Lobo, like, he is like kind of a dickhead, but he's a very blunt dickhead. Like, there's not really any lies in like what he says.
If he killed the New Gods, he'd be bragging about it, and he isn't.
Yeah.
Which should tell you something. It's funny too, we see Hal and Batman hang out, and Hal being like, it's not your fault, nobody blames you, and he's like, I blame me because I'm Batman and I'm supposed to be 2 steps ahead. Everyone knows Superman can't be everywhere at once, but everyone knows that Batman is like the smartest, the bestest, can do anything, and I wasn't that day, and it broke up the whole team. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I should have, like, I'm always 2 steps ahead. I wasn't this time, and I should have been there to be able to direct where Superman could go, because he wants to be everywhere at once. That's an interesting dynamic.
It is. It's a fun take too, because when you think like, oh, the Justice League broke up, this is their last ride. It's like, okay, who betrayed who killed who did what? No, they didn't break up because someone did something bad. They broke up because they all felt like they could have done more, and because they lost a friend, they all have spent these last couple of years just beating themselves up over it.
Yeah, they all feel responsible for his death in one way or another.
If I couldn't save this member of the team, then maybe we shouldn't be a team at all, because if I lost another one of you, I don't know what I'd do with myself.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is very interesting and a cool take.
It's really different as well, because they could have easily done this whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, the team died, Superman went fucking crazy, and he's another evil Superman. It was like, no, this is like really what would actually happen if Superman like lost someone he cared about.
Yeah, again, it would rattle them, and rattle them it does.
Yeah, and at the end we find that like Mongol has come looking for Lobo, and then also Mad Max Cyborg Superman with his army of manhunters.
Who is also Brainiac.
Yeah, he's like Brainiac, like fused with Bizarro Superman, with Cyborg Superman, because he's like purple, and yeah, it's really crazy.
It's all the Superman villains in one. I'm like, man, that's such a cool idea, Brainiac uploading himself to Cyborg Superman. Why have they not done that before? That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's too smart.
I guess so. Too smart. But yeah, that one's pretty solid. I wasn't sure about this series after it was all like kind of wistful and like reflective, and I'm like, this one feels like it's gonna read better when it's all done. But this is the issue that hooked me back in a big way.
Yeah, it's got 3 issues left.
Yeah, it's much longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, originally it was meant to be a digital series. It's 16 chapters, and they condensed it down into 7 books.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't want to read 16 chapters.
Yeah, well, it would have been shorter, yeah, and probably weekly.
Yeah, I had one last one. What about you?
What'd you have?
X-Force 21 and 22.
Oh, what happened in X-Force? Well, the Beast War Crimes. What's going on?
Believe it or not, there was a problem this time that wasn't Beast's fault, if you can fucking believe it. It's amazing, I know. A bunch of mutant advocates start committing violent crimes, and they don't know why, but they know that they've been exposed to some kind of weird spore telephonic plant technology, and everyone starts looking at Beast where it's like, hey, isn't this what you did? Isn't this what you tried to do at the big Hellfire Club party? He's like, for once, it's not actually me. This is a crossbow situation where clearly a bunch of cultures all over the world came to the same weaponized plant idea at the same time that we did. And this causes them to try and track down a character who I didn't even know existed because he was invented like in 2020 by Benjamin Percy in a Weapon Plus miniseries. It's not Man-Thing. It's another similar plant monster creature guy called Manslaughter.
Called Thing-Man.
Thing-Man. Plant. It's basically that. Yeah, he's like a big, viney, freaking Bigfoot, and, him and Wolverine get along because Wolverine's like, yeah, man, I know what it's like to, wander around the woods and, try and hide from the pain of the world and everything, and I was in a weapon blank program, too. Maybe you can help us.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Kali there, X-Force continues to the shithead Beast saga still. Like, the Runaway series ending was good. Same goes for Spider-Man. TSS, I'm mixed on Fantastic Four. Oh, yeah, Life Story came out this week, too. I didn't get a chance to read it.
I was going to talk about that one next.
I'm going to get to that one eventually because I know that one's a lot to take in. But yeah, we eventually find out that Zeno is behind all of this. They found the doctor that made Manslaughter. And because his wife OD'd on mutant medicine, they gave him a bunch of funding and money to try and weaponize the spores. Which is bad because that means, we can hack the mutants' portal tech and we can actually get into Krakoa if we want.
Yep.
They do that. That's a whole thing. And then, like, Manslaughter pulls out probably the biggest big dick move I've ever seen in a fight, where it's like, hey, Bloodroot, that's the doctor who created him. I see you turned yourself into a big fucking monster and everything. Well, I've been talking to the trees because I can do that. And there's one particular tree in the park that saw your wife scoring the drugs that killed her. It's funny, the guy selling the drugs had a peacock tattoo on his arm. So Zeno fucking set him up from the beginning, and he's like, I can't handle it, fuck. And that's how the story ends. It's just a fun little twarfer.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, but we'll learn that Beast was behind all this or something.
Yeah,
this is another one of my wartime experiments.
Beast actually is leading Zeno from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Well, you see, for my X-Force team to work, I had to set up an ultimate enemy. We already had Orchis, so I had to create someone lower on the totem pole for us to fight. That's why that guy wears a mask. He's actually blue under there.
Yeah, it's Beast, yeah.
It was me all along. Also, wasn't Colossus's brother involved with them, too, and he stole a sword? What the fuck happened with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the stolen sword we thought was going to be important for X of Swords, and then it just wasn't?
Yeah, that was probably like on the cutting room floor. It's like, we've got this sword here, we could use that. We'll use that. We'll use Cable's sword instead.
Yeah, I guess that probably was like a last minute, like, we could do this, or we could use Cable.
Yeah.
You know what it probably was? Wolverine was probably supposed to get one story, and X-Force was supposed to get a story. Then they're like, fuck it, these are both Wolverine stories now. Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's the only one who got 2.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you got to sell more Wolverine.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was that. What was your last one?
Well, mine was Life Story issue 3.
Right. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened in the last issue. Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic got divorced.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this issue. The divorce was finalized.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, so this is the 80s set one. Reed and Tony are still trying to convince the government, now the Reagan administration, that they need to protect the world, and they've come up with like it's kind of like a sword prototype sort of thing. It's not called sword, right. It's called like strategic defense something.
Right.
And yeah, they was like, yeah, we'll use this to protect it from like threats from like the cosmos and everything. But they're like, yeah, but you know, it's an election year, and you know, these Russians over here are like annoying us. Can we like maybe like turn it in on ourselves? And Reed's like, you fucking high? You got to point a gun at your own head?
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, sure, you know, it'll do well for the numbers and all that sort of stuff. So, and Reed's like really pissed at them and leaves, and he's like thinking about it for like a long time. And meanwhile, we've got Johnny, who's like kind of acting more of a father to Franklin than Reed is. And,
yes, because he's very absent.
Yeah, and he's kind of like playing that like fun uncle, but also a parent as well, sort of teach, because like Franklin got sent off to like a fancy boarding school because he thinks like he says like, oh, he thinks he got sent there because it's so his parents can get rid of him, and then he realized it's so his parents put him there only because they paid people a ton of money basically just to look after him, so they didn't have to deal with him. So yeah, Johnny's sort of dealing with him, and Sue is still married to Namor, who looks like a fucking Miami Vice drug dealer. he's got like the pastel shirt and like the big fucking blazer, and he doesn't wear shoes or anything, and
the ultimate rebound guy.
Yeah. And one of the main parts of the issue is set in the United Nations. It's like the anniversary of when Dr. Doom attacked last issue. And we find that because Latveria has like got spies everywhere, and it's like a disillusioned country and everything, Doom is actually locked up in the UN because it's like neutral territory. They can't get him or anything. So that's funny. There's a great scene where he's like, they walk past the cells, and like Doom sticks his hand out and he's like yelling at the representatives of Uruguay, and he's like, come to me, Doom commands you. It's like, and they're not paying attention, but yeah. Johnny tries to like warn the UN that like, hey, Galactus is happening. Yeah, the Soviets are there. They're, you know, they'll fine. If Galactus doesn't get us, stuff like fucking climate change or like, you know, video games and stuff will fucking kill us, you know, computers and stuff.
You see, Galactus is really more a stand-in for the existential dread heat death of the universe that will kill us all.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the key players in this decade is a guy called Jose Santini. I had to look this character up because I'm like, is this like a original character? No, it's fucking Mark Russell doing a deep dive. He's like a character from like the 60s.
Which he did in issue 1 too with that doctor. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, he was a villain in 1 issue.
Yeah, and he's like a tech genius who's like trying to revolutionize like computers and stuff. So like computers, so like we kind of rely on computers to save ourselves from ourselves. And he's one of the brain men behind the Star Wars initiative that Reagan had. And yeah, he's like getting his hands in all where Reed wanted it and sort of playing to the right people. And he one of those things is he needed Dr. Doom's help because Doom sort of understands what's happening. We actually learn out once he gets Doom out of prison that this guy wasn't actually who he said he was, and was actually the Mad Thinker.
Fun.
It's cool. He's got like this sprays on his face, and his face melts off and turns back into the Mad Thinker. And yeah, it's just like them, the family going through like the life while Mad Thinker and Doom sort of try and come up with a way to sort of combat not just Galactus but all threats to them. And that leads to his computers being installed all across the nation's like military installations, and he like hacks them and makes it think like the Soviets are launching nukes. So America launches nukes. So then all the heroes, all like your Silver Centurion, Iron Man, your symbiote Spider-Man, the Thor that was like all armored and like had the
Oh
beard and everything.
yeah.
Yeah. They all like respond to like all these nukes going rogue, and like they take them all down, and there's one left, and it's about to hit where was it about to hit? I think it was about to hit New York, and Johnny ends up racing to save it, and he blows it up and sucks in all its power, and it ends up killing him.
Oh shit. Hey, that's kind of funny because in that Spider-Man life story book, something similar happened with the nukes being launched, but it was Vision who sacrificed himself.
Yeah. Maybe there's
Interesting.
maybe there's a connection.
Maybe, yeah, now that I stop and think about it, yeah. Huh. Yeah, which Johnny's died before and they've replaced him with Spider-Man and a robot and shit.
Yeah, so he ends up dying, and the issue ends like with his death kind of bringing the family back together in a way.
Right.
So like they all sort of come back together there at the end. And yeah, the next issue is the 90s, and what's going to happen there, cuz like again these characters are aging in real time. So like Spider-Man and Johnny are talking about how like they're almost 40, and they're like, "Hey, we still kind of act like kids," and like what the fuck are we doing?
Well, you know, they're going to get really into grunge music is what they're going to do.
Maybe Sue will start dating like Kurt Cobain or something.
Oh, that'll be fun and also very sad. No, she'll save him in this universe. It's fine.
Yeah.
She'll use her shield powers to stop the bullet and get him some therapy. Whoa, Kirk, what the fuck, man? Dude, God, you're the voice of a generation. You can't die now. Holy shit.
That's what reunites like the world and like saves the universe from Galactus.
Yeah, you see, he doesn't die. Yeah, and then, you know, Kurt Cobain has like a bitchin' unplugged concert as like Galactus is gonna eat the planet. He's like, no, I cannot. This rock's too hard.
I do like that like Galactus, like he's not there yet. They know he's coming, but it's like taking decades. So they have all this time, but then like as Reed thinks about this issue, they really don't have all this time because like he's been through like 4 administrations of the government who have all just writ him off completely.
You know what you could argue? You could argue that Galactus in this story is an allegory for climate change itself, and that all the smart people are like, no, it's gonna kill us all. It's gonna kill us all, and all the
that's
politicians
absolutely
and
what it
administrations.
is.
Yeah, just keep shoving it down and shoving it down the line. And even the Fantastic Four themselves are like, God, geez, I wanted to do something, but life keeps getting in the way.
Again, it's like it's like an allegory for that, and like allegory for stuff like the AIDS epidemic, which I don't think was referenced in this book. I might have to read it through again, but I don't think it was like overtly referenced. So again,
I figured they would.
It's like stuff like that, yeah. Climate change, the AIDS epidemic, all that sort of stuff.
We always get like little snapshots there, like we saw like Sue fighting for women's suffrage and everything, and like Johnny hanging out with like Yoko Ono and John Lennon and everything. Maybe it was one of those things where it was just like a mini panel.
Yeah, there were a couple of panels of like Johnny trying to like, he's almost 40, he's trying to relive his youth, sort of thing. He owns a Trans Am, a black Trans Am, because of course. Yeah.
Getting my sweet Trans Am. Dude, you can fly. You're made of fire. Yeah, but this car is fucking hotter than
I'm surprised. I didn't notice it though. It didn't have like a big like flaming eagle on it,
as it really should.
Yeah.
Even he's like, nah, that's too tacky.
No. Jean Grey's got that like lockdown. Can't do that.
True. Yeah, exactly. Jean walks by. That motherfucker stole my thing. Give me it back. Yeah, as the chat says, yeah, I wonder if Peter will join the team ever so briefly as he did in the comics when Johnny died. I could see that because
they do play up their relationship a little bit this issue with them sort of like just being pals, just like joking around and stuff like that. I could see that.
Yeah, who knows?
Or like, I mean, by the time like the 90s hit, Franklin's gonna be in his like late teenage years. I imagine he might be part of the team.
He hasn't showed to have any powers yet, has he?
Oh, no, he has. Yeah, in this issue, he got sent home from school because he like almost killed everyone. His powers like started and like amplified everyone's mind and everything.
What are the odds he's the one who defeats Galactus, and it's a whole thing like, hey, children of the future, it's up to you to it's up to you to stop climate change, Galactus. Sorry, we fucked it up.
I think that's going to happen because all through these books, they've sort of Marcus sort of like highlighted the fact that Sue and Reed kind of disregard their son, like they don't pay that much attention to him.
The answer was right in front of you, dumb-dumbs.
Again, it's like Boomer's just like, not paying attention to their generation.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
Yeah, a whole lost generation of kids. If that's the case and that's where they go, then this is even more genius than I
Yeah.
thought.
Oh, hey, again, it's Mark Russell. He does all this sort of cool stuff, and I just love this book. It's so good.
Yeah. I loved what they did with Doom too, where it's like, no, yeah, I didn't meet you in school. I was like a guy who stole you away from your wife in like a midlife crisis, but it wasn't an affair. It was building an armor with me.
Yeah, it was taking advantage of Reed's like laser focus and for his own goods, and kind of like a little con man sort of thing.
He was the devil on his shoulder, and he ended up fucking him over, and he ended up losing everything because of it.
I like that he doesn't lose that whole grandiose Doom aesthetic either. He still refers to himself as Doom, and views himself as like king of the world sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun take on it.
It's great. Yeah.
All right, I guess that'll just about do it for the show, everyone. This was a long one. I haven't checked the time yet, but I can only imagine
2.5 hours.
Holy fuck. Which, hey, longer show did better last week when we did it. So
hey, we had really good numbers. We had almost 100 people here at one point.
We did. Thank you, everyone, for coming and checking out, and thank you, everyone, for donating. As always, be sure to check out our sponsor, Wild Bill's Craft Soda. I'll put the link down in the description. If you use our promo code there, you can get a discount on your first order, which is very good, especially in these hot summer months. Yeah. You want something sweet and delicious. If you're a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will be sure to get the audio version of this show first before anyone else, and then the video version later on for $5. If that's your thing, you can do that completely ad-free. You'll be helping us out. You'll be helping the channel out. You'll be helping keeping this ship rolling, because ships roll.
Yeah.
You'll be helping this jungle cruise rock along.
That's like a joke that they would say in the film.
For real.
The whole film, the joke is that The Rock is making like dad jokes. And it's great. It's great. It's fantastic. Every one of them lands.
He's the only one who can get away with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching and listening. We hope you had a lot of fun. We knew this was going to be a big one with all the big topics there. These are the special ones, everyone.
Yeah.
So again, we appreciate you for spending your Sunday night with us, and we'll be back again next week, same place, same time, to do it all over again.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so until then, everyone, bye-bye.
See ya.